It is a classic David versus Goliath tale this evening. We've made the trip up to Delaware County for week number 3 as tonight Beechcroft takes on Big Walnut. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Rivals here on the CW Columbus. I'm Randy Reinhardt alongside the football professor, Jeff Logan. And, Jeff, we've got the City League against the OCC tonight.
Yeah, Randy, this is a big challenge for Beechcroft, a Division III team playing up to a Division II team. And let me tell you what, this is not a regular Division II team in Big Walnut. This is a team that went 12-0 regular season last year. But I'm going to tell you what, Beechcroft 6-0 in the City League last year. They're coming up here to play football.
In fact, the Cougars have not had a losing season this century. Let's talk about Beechcroft. 0-1 on the campaign. They did not play in week number 2. They're coached by Humphrey Simmons in year number 3. They've got a quarterback that is something special. His name is Aurelius Scott.
Yeah, Aurelius Scott is a guy that can make people miss out there. He's a good thrower of the football, Randy, but he's got to be dual in what he does tonight in this football game. A year ago, 13 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing TDs. He has to play well tonight.
And they lost to Thomas Worthington last week, 44-6. On the other side, it is Big Walnut. They are 2-0, and they are coached by Rob Page in year number 3. They've got a running back that is all-world. He can do it all. His name is Nate Sievers.
Yeah, very special young man. First team All-Ohio as a sophomore a year ago. Randy, all he did was run for 2,300 yards, and oh, by the way, 38 touchdowns. He's off to a great start already this year with 7 touchdowns. This kid is special, and he's just a junior.
And they got by Zanesville last week, 42-7. It is youth cheerleader tonight. Girls, are you ready for some high school football?
Woo! Yeah.
Enough said. Let's do it. What a matchup we have tonight. Beechcroft and Big Walnut just around the corner. All coming up here on Friday Night Rivals on the CW Columbus.
Hi, I'm Jim Goodall. It's Friday Night Rivals night on the CW here in Columbus, and fantastic weather throughout Central Ohio. Our featured game, Beechcroft at Big Walnut. Look at the temperatures at 7 o'clock, cloudy, 83 degrees, 9 o'clock, cloudy and 78, and 11 o'clock when the games are coming to an end, still very warm with temperatures in the low to middle 70s.
Jim, thank you very much, and indeed a great night for high school football. Jeff, only the second time they have played this new facility and called it their home. They played Hartley in week number 1 and got by the Hawks, so just the second time at this brand new school and stadium, which opened back in January of this year.
Yeah, the complex out here is very impressive, to say the least. They've got just amazing facilities out here. It gives you some idea of the growth up here. As I mentioned in the open, this is a Division II football team, but with the growth that we're seeing closely, we'll be in Division I anytime soon.
And Beechcroft only played one contest so far, too. Remember that, because in week 1, they took on Thomas Worthington and lost by a count of 44-6. Time now to honor America for our national anthem. Delaware County in Sunbury, Ohio, as we salute America during this holiday weekend. Hope you have a great and safe holiday weekend. Enjoy this Labor Day. And we mentioned Beechcroft playing only one game, Jeff. There was that strike situation, too, that we mentioned with the teachers as well, too. So this is just their second contest in week number 3. Watching Friday Night Rivals, you know, folks, is easy and convenient. Every game is streaming live now on the ABC6 News app, the ABC6 YouTube page, the CWColumbus.com, and, of course, right here on your television. And it's all powered by Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center. And you heard Jim Goodall talk about the forecast for tonight. Hopefully, Jeff, when the Buckeyes take on Notre Dame tomorrow in that contest, they'll have decent weather, although there is the threat of rain in the forecast.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay, Randy. It's going to be an exciting time in Central Ohio, obviously, for not only high school football on Friday night, and glad to bring this one to you, but Ohio State football tomorrow. An interesting statistic to be proud of your local Columbus, Ohio.
How's that?
Airbnb, which we all know, where you can go rent places and vacation. This weekend, Airbnb, the most popular spot in all of America, belongs to where? Columbus, Ohio. And it's not because of our beaches. It has a lot to do with people coming in for the game and deciding they wanted to have a house to stay in for the game.
Yeah, what beaches would that be, Jeff?
Elm Creek. Why not, right?
There's one. Thank you very much. Which we're not far from.
Exactly.
And right now we found a lot of terra firma for week number 3. Big Walnut, you know, we talked a lot about in the open Nate Sievers, but Jake Neer, the quarterback, is the guy that helps run the show. And this team is so loaded, too. Rob Page has done a great job in year number 3. A guy that, you know, matriculated from Ben Davis High School. If you're familiar with Indiana high school football, that is a mecca for strong teams in the center of that Hoosier state. And he's done a great job with this program in 3 years. In fact, he is the offensive coordinator. He comes to this program after being the offensive coordinator at Terp and also the head coach at Reading in the past as well, too. And we're all set now for the Buckeye State Bank kickoff. Start enjoying the benefits of banking local with Buckeye State Bank. Get started today by visiting joinbsb.com. You can see Twin Safeties back deep inside the 10-yard line for Big Walnut, including Nicky Pentello. And, yes, he is the son of Rocky Pentello. And all the Pentellos, by the way, except for Rocky, have great hair. So we got to see what Nicky looks like when he takes off that helmet, too.
There's an embarrassment of riches right now going on with this Big Walnut football team when you think of their junior class. You got Jake Neer that you mentioned, Randy, at the quarterback spot, just a junior. We talked about Nate Sievers at the beginning of the show, just a junior. And then a young man that will not play tonight, Garrett Stover, a junior, is a Ohio State offeree, I should say, and a number of Division I football teams believe that Garrett Stover will have an opportunity to play Division I football. And if the name sounds familiar to you, he is the cousin of Cade Stover out of Lexington High School up near Mansfield, who is an Ohio State tight end.
So we have it just about ready to go on this Buckeye State Bank kickoff with Deshaun Henderson, who handles all the kicking duties for Beechcroft. Yes, they are shorthanded when you look at it, Jeff. They have, about 33 kids that they dress. And this is a Beechcroft program that is proud throughout the years, 500 or better, as we mentioned, every year in this century. Last year, 7-4. A couple of years ago, 3-3, then 7-3. 6 years ago, they go 10-0. And, of course, it was a magical run for Big Walnut last season as well, too, before falling back on November the 12th to Massillon, Washington, in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens here in week number 3. A growing experience for both of these teams. For Beechcroft, as we mentioned, only their second contest, as they were off last week as the teachers and the administration settled that strike. They lost to Thomas Worthington 44-6, and it's been cruise control for Big Walnut the first 2 games. 35-7 and 42-7 respectively over Bishop Hartley and Zanesville. And to be fair to that defense of Big Walnut, those touchdowns were against the 2s for the Eagles. Whether you call them Eagles or Golden Eagles, they are the real deal, and they're ready to play their second ever home game here at this new facility. Glad to have you aboard. Week number 3 of 10 games will bring you right here on the CW Columbus on Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College. Gorgeous night for football, and we are underway in week number 3, and the return is going to start right from the 11-yard line. And right up the gut it goes now, as that's Pentello to the 25. Spin move, gets away from 2 defenders, and finally going to be stopped at the 28-yard line, and that's where Nicky and the offense will take over some 8 seconds into this contest. We mentioned Jake Neer running things at quarterback, a guy that so far on the campaign has been outstanding. He's passed for nearly 300 yards. You can see no miscues so far. In fact, Jeff, to the first 2 contests, no turnovers at all for the Eagles.
Not much for a coach to complain about, but as we know coaches, there's always an opportunity to coach them up even after big wins, and Big Walnut off to a great start already this season.
And this is your Home Appliance Solutions first down, courtesy of Brian Peters and the crew, and they'll mark the ball right at that 28-yard line with a wide out to either side, a wing to the bottom of the set. They go from that gun look. A team that doesn't like to huddle that much, with the spin move across the 35 up to the 37. The aforementioned Nate Sievers. And, I asked Coach Page what he does well, and he said everything.
Yeah.
I mean, surmising it just to say that you give him the ball, he can run, he can catch it, he can block. Here's your safe light offense, too, when you take a look at it for Big Walnut tonight. Colson is a guy that's been tremendous as a 4-year starter. They've got 2 tight ends that will see action throughout this contest. Good size. Grant Conklin, a guy to watch on the left side of that offensive line. Neer will roll to his right, look downfield and gun, and find his tight end across the 45-yard line. Nice catch that time as he spins and gets it off to Kildew. And Kildew, the returning starter, makes the catch for a good gain. You check out the starters on defense, courtesy of Safe Light, and you see Jerome Killebrew is the guy in the middle defensively. Deshaun Henderson is a guy that will not leave the field tonight. Offense, defense, and he's their kicker, too, as well. Jaden Douglas, some good plays by him in week number 1 and last season as well, too, in the secondary.
And Randy, one of the challenges for Beechcroft is they've got so many players that have to play both ways with only 33 kids on their roster.
And that was a massive shift that time. The Cowboys would be proud on that one. And this time the ball's free. And it's scooped up by Neer. Was that a little miscommunication in the backfield?
Yeah, the mesh point back there between the quarterback and the running back, that was a zone read play, and that's on the quarterback. He's got to make sure that he controls things here. See, the snap came back. It's perfect. He's putting it in the belly, and at that point, the quarterback has to make sure that ball gets delivered safely. And it looked like there was some confusion on the zone read by the quarterback.
Merrill Cox nearly got to the football for the Cougars on a 3rd down play, and Long looking downfield on the out pattern, and the pass just a little overthrown, incomplete inside the 30-yard line. Leave it to a running back to blame the quarterback for the mesh points.
There you go. Cam Gladden, the intended receiver there, the fastest young man on this football team, number 12. And good pass protection. It was interesting. That ball was thrown up in an area where the sunlight is still coming down over the stadium. And Gladden, as he looked back for that football, had to look right back into that sun.
And Cam will stay on the field because he's also the punter and place kicker as well, too, averaging 34.5 yards per punt after 6 punts so far early in the campaign. Radford and Douglas normally back deep for the Cougars, entrenched right around the 20-yard line. Good stand defensively for Beechcroft to make a statement early in this contest. We mentioned them somewhat undermanned compared to the size, and you got a D2 power in Big Walnut, who, when you look at this, Jeff, you got to think somewhere down the road here, we're going to be looking at a team that's going to be D1. Let's go down the field. And it's substitution. Go ahead.
Substitution, the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
So now do you put the offense back on the field?
Absolutely, you do that. Substitution penalty on Beechcroft. I was just about to give him credit as you look at our officials tonight, Randy.
DeJuan Hammond's your referee tonight, along with Greg Moore, Keith Dalton, Nate O'Neill, Chris McCaleb, and Ron Wilson.
This is a team that feels like they can control that line of scrimmage. Expect Jake Neer to hand this ball off to Nate Sievers, number 7 in the backfield.
So we had a sub go off the field to come back on the field. There we had the penalty, 4th down and 1 on the play. And they'll get the ball up to the 49-yard line and sidestep up to midfield, and that'll be enough for the 1st down. So Big Walnut, thanks to the penalty, will keep the ball alive, and Sievers and company will advance the chains and keep driving some 2 minutes and 10 seconds into this contest.
You know, the one thing Nate Sievers has to understand in this kind of a play is you got to take what's there and get the 1st down. This little shift and dance to the outside right at the line of scrimmage could have cost him. Don't take more than what you need on a 4th down situation.
And Coach Page is also the offensive coordinator, so he yells instructions from the sidelines on this 1st down play. Near to keep, has a gap right up the middle, takes 15, 18 yards, nearly 19. He's got another 1st down for Big Walnut, some 2 minutes and 40 seconds into this contest. You look at him. This guy, Jake Neer, lives the offense, Jeff. He's accurate, he's underrated as a runner, and he does have some RPO options he can run as well, too.
Yeah, exactly. There's that zone read this season so far, 12 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown, but that time a good read by the junior quarterback, Jake Neer. Completed 64% of his passes a year ago, only 4 interceptions.
Call a gain of 18 on the play, 1st and 10 from there. They're coming on the blitz from the outside. They pinch to the middle. And they'll get the ball inside the 30 to around the 29-yard line before forward progress is stopped on the play. But you look at the size up front, too, with Conklin going 295 and Strickland at 220. Ross, whose dad is also an assistant coach, at 220. Sawyer Russell, 245. And Matt Van Allman goes 250. He's a returning starter, as is Strickland on the left side and Conklin. So a lot of experience at left guard and left tackle for the Eagles. Halfway home, 2nd down, just about 5. Throw back a little bubble this time. And guess who was there? That was Mr. Pentello. And he's inside the 10 and nearly slides into the end zone.
Now, Randy, those little bubble screens are basically sweep plays for a wide open offense. You know, it's a very high number of completions on this. Obviously, get the ball out quickly. You got blockers out in front of you. It's a way of getting the ball out on the perimeter where you've got numbers, where you can make people miss out there. And Big Walnut is rolling.
He's got 2 catches now for a grand total of 39 yards, picked up 25 on that play. 1st and goal, we're inside the red zone now, courtesy of Batfitter. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Student body left and twinning and spinning and trying to get in the end zone. Did they get the touchdown? They did. It's another Ramos Roofing touchdown there as they take it in for the score. And just like that, it is now 6-0. And did you see who took it in there? The guy that runs the Wildcat offense. It looked like it was Mr. Nicky Pentello.
Watch again here. Nicky Pentello lined up there at the quarterback spot, number 2. Able to take the ball inside, fall back over the end zone.
His 5th carry now, good for 30 yards.
Outstanding job by that young man. And again, it gives you some idea of the talent that this football team has and the depth. Looks like a penalty, maybe?
I think we got an encroachment. I think we've lined up in the neutral zone.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, try down.
Do you go for 2? Do you stick with 1 here?
Decline the penalty and go ahead and kick the extra point. Keep your special teams out there. Good repetition.
Cam Gladden now. 11 of 11, looking to go 12-12. There is the do. Look at that. Every Pentello. Going back to his cousin, remember when he was quarterback at Capital University? His arm was tremendous. His hair was even better. There's the snap. There's the kick. And it is up. And Gladden with the honors makes it 7-0 as we played just about 4 minutes in this contest. The home team with the upper hand early in this one, 7-0. Beechcroft to get it on offense for the first time when we come back.
This is Haji Sidibe, but I want to wish the best to Beechcroft tonight on Friday Night Lights. Go Cougars. Let's go. This is Haji Sidibe. I want to wish the best to Beechcroft tonight on Friday Night Lights. Go Cougars. Let's go.
He's pumped and primed. He's a battling Bishop as well, too, for Ohio Wesleyan. Well, his team now is down 7 early in this contest, but they'll get their first possession here after the kickoff by Cam Gladden. Now 12 of 12 on extra points. Boy, where's the weakness on this Big Walnut team?
Well, Randy, the weakness on Big Walnut might just only be an attitudinal issue. I mean, if they come out with a great attitude, their athleticism is superior to most of the teams that they play. And I think the biggest challenge that any coach is going to have, especially against a team that you're expected to roll against, is how are you going to be prepared for the game? There's
Gladden with the leg with another touchback, something he's done frequently in the first 2 weeks of the season. And with that, we'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line. Time now to take a look at the Kitchen Saver scoring summary. Get your dream kitchen in under a week with a free quote at kitchensaver.com. 8 plays, 72 yards. And really, that penalty on 4th down was the thing that turned it around for the Eagles, because otherwise they'd have to punt.
Yeah, huge, Randy. Right there at midfield. If you don't have the substitution penalty, you got a flipping of the field, a change of possession, and Beechcroft is able to celebrate in getting that offense off the field. But now they've got themselves down 7-0. And the one thing you don't want to do here is make a mistake early in this football game. Beechcroft has to play near perfect football to compete in this game tonight against the Golden Eagles.
And this is a team that can put up points, too. In 5 of their last 6 games during the regular season, the last campaign, they scored 28 points or more. 1st and 10 for Scott and company from the 20-yard line. And we have whistles before we start the play.
Delay of game offense. Number 2, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
They're approaching the contest tonight, Jeff, that everyone is beatable. Play every down as if it's your last. Control the pace of the game. That's the one thing they want to do. If there's a way to do the short passing game as a 4-corner offense, if you will, that's what the Cougars and that man, Coach Simmons, would like to do here tonight. From the 15 now. And nothing there.
Yeah, Randy, I was just about to say that first play attempt there was a gadget play. They see the quarterback go up high as if the snap was high. They snapped it directly to the man in motion.
There is your safe light offense. We mentioned Mr. Scott at quarterback. Deshaun Henderson sees a lot of the load at running back. They've got some good wide receivers, too, in the likes of Radford and Burns and Douglas and Khalil Samuel as well, too. Decent size in the offensive line, but not the size that we see for Big Walnut. So mark it back inside the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and long. They need pretty much 17 yards now from the 13 as they spread out the defensive front 3 a little bit for the Eagles. And Scott back to throw, it looks like. And now we'll just tuck and run, and he can do that. He's got speed up the sidelines, and he has got the first down. This is a guy, Jeff, it's also underrated, I think, as a runner, but also has that baseball arm as well, too. And he showed you his mobility. Didn't play as a freshman because of COVID, but looked outstanding here tonight, and he's looked great last season as well.
Yeah, I know this is the biggest fear that the defensive coaches have with this kid running at quarterback is beating him with his legs running the football. They had linebacker Jack Watts, who was kind of spying the quarterback. It's going to take somebody that's maybe a little bit more fleet of foot to keep up with Aurelia Scott if they're going to try and target him and have somebody scout him the entire game.
And that's the key. Can they convert on the broken play? That'll be huge tonight for the Cougars as we approach the halfway mark of the first quarter. Scott with plenty of time, thought about dumping it in the flat. Now guns it across the middle, has his man across midfield, and look at the speed in the open field of Jaden Douglas. Down the sidelines, he'll curl into the end zone for another Ramos Roofing touchdown, and that is what you have to watch for. The returning starter, 6'1", 155, and a senior gets his 2nd touchdown. Back in week 1, he had a 74-yard touchdown catch against Thomas Worthington.
This is a young man that is a state champ in the 300-meter hurdles. Can he fly? Absolutely. Good no-block block by the freshman Jameer Radford, pulled up and didn't have a block in the back. And Jaden Douglas takes it the distance. What great composure, though, by Aurelius Scott, letting things happen out there, waiting until he found that receiver, and then he delivered it on time and on target.
And it wasn't 74 yards this time, only 65. Deshaun Henderson, the chance to tie this contest at 7. High snap, not going to happen here. Will hunt it down. Can he throw? He will have to from the 26-yard line into the end zone. And the pass falls incomplete, so the high snap prevents the chance to tie it. But they get on the board on the long pass play to Douglas. And with 6:13 left to go, that man has made it a 1-point contest at 7-6.
Yep.
Jeff, you can't coach speed.
With the penalties, yeah. You got to be perfect.
The biggest plays, the biggest schools, the best high school football. You get to see it first thanks to First Scores on Fox 28, sponsored by Spectrum tonight at 10:45 only on Fox 28. So the young man that's the speedster and also just came back from the Junior Olympics takes it the distance 65 yards. He also likes science and drawing. And just like that, Jeff, it's a 1-point game as you take a look at the scoring summary one more time. And 3 plays, 80 yards, 1:33 off the clock, courtesy of Bath Savers. So they're back in this contest.
Jaden Douglas, number 4, getting a well-deserved rest over there, but it's not going to last long because he is your starting free safety on defense as Beechcroft is ready to kick off.
Henderson, the line drive kick. Will it stay in bounds? It will not. We'll throw the flag with 6:13 left to go. DeJuan Hammonds again, our referee, who's seen plenty of time already in this contest. Never had this crew before, I don't think, during our tenure. In year number 11. After tenure, does it come up as 11 year, just out of curiosity? So Neer and company get the ball back as we wait for the official call.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
What was your assessment of Big Walnut on their first offensive possession?
Well, Randy, I thought they came out a little flat, to be perfectly honest with you. They had the mesh problem between quarterback Jake Neer and Nate Sievers, nearly turned the ball over, and Beechcroft was able to stop, and it had not been for the penalty, this thing could be 6-0 in favor of Beechcroft right now, and nobody's more shocked than the fans that are sitting here in the stands. They're not used to having this kind of scare early in a football game.
On this Home Appliance Solutions first down, they'll keep it on the ground, nothing inside, so Sievers will bounce it outside and get it out to around the 44-yard line. So good job by the guy that rushed for 2,313 yards and 34 touchdowns. Logan-like numbers from his junior campaign.
Yeah, pretty solid, and obviously got a good job by that offensive line a year ago, and this is a really good offensive line led by Tom Ross, the center, number 60. Sawyer Russell and Justin Strickland are the guards. Grant Conklin, Matt Van Almen at the tackle positions, and they do a really good job up front.
Jason Ross, the father of the center, is, of course, the defensive coordinator. You don't want to play on the same side as your dad, you know. Get the handoff, they'll take it across midfield, down inside the 49, near the 48-yard line. A good gain on that play by Sievers. When you look at him, Jeff, you know, he puts the ball in the correct arm. He waits for his blocks as well, too. He's got a bunch of D2 offers with a frame of 5'11 and 210 as a junior. I assume there's room for growth yet?
Yeah, I think so, and I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes a Division I recruit as he continues to improve a long time. It'll all be based upon speed more than anything else.
He'll do the tight end readjust. This time the handoff goes off the left side and dancing and trying to squirm inside the 45-yard line. That time is number 5 on the carry. That's Tyon Fountain. So interesting. Fountain is a guy that's a D end and also can be a running back as well, too. Time now to check out your Toyota keys to the game for Beechcroft. Great Scott. In other words, it really has to play well in this contest for them. And slow ride. I'm not talking foghat. I'm talking about controlling the pace of the game. Big Walnut, Seavers fever. Obviously, he has to get the ball and be very successful. He has it. And Henderson. They've got to keep an eye on Deshaun and make sure that the running game is not a factor for Beechcroft in this contest. Right up the gut this time. Another nice game. Good sidestep that time. And again, that is not the running style of a defensive end or outside linebacker because Fountain showed you a couple moves there inside and also strength as well.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is get a little bit of depth in that running back position. And Fountain, who, as you mentioned, Randy, is that defensive end by specialty, comes in and does a really nice job running that read option. Quarterback taking advantage of what the defense gives them. Hands the ball off to number 5.
And again, will attrition be a factor in this contest, especially around the midway point of the third quarter? With Beechcroft with such a short roster compared to Big Walnut. Again, the tight end will readjust in Kildu. Near with pressure on, guns underneath, has Seavers. He's got the 30, the 25. Nice sidestep down the sidelines, and he's got the angle, and he will take it in for a touchdown. But is there a flag on the field?
And it's going to come back. It was motion on Big Walnut. They had all of the shifting that was going on over there, and just as the tight end reset, the wide receiver on the bottom of your screen adjusted back off of the line of scrimmage, but was not fully set. Here's the call.
Sideline warning.
Oh.
Big Walnut. That's their first one.
So that's a Ramos Roofing touchdown.
Goodness. There was motion on the play, and the official grabbed his flag immediately at that stage, but obviously felt like he was encroached upon by the sideline. And look at the bottom here. Watch below. Tight end's going to get set. There's the motion. Did he get set for a full time? Obviously, and the officials felt that he did. And here is the little screen play out there and the touchdown run into the end zone. But sideline warning on the flag. Interesting call.
For Seavers, his 8th touchdown on the campaign. Now, you can do that in Canada, Jeff. Just clarification for you there. As we step aside for a second, we listen to a message from our good friends at Toyota.
With a new Toyota, you can practically make summer stand still. From making a splash in a Highlander to fitting in more fun in a Camry or tackling a trailhead in a RAV4 hybrid. Who's a good boy? Enjoy the last of summer in an exciting new Toyota during Toyota's national sales event.
Save big on the best-selling SUV Toyota RAV4, like this electrified RAV4 hybrid with fuel savings over $3,700. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Gladden with a punctuation with a PAT, making it 14-6 in this contest. And there's the aforementioned Mr. Seavers. What a masterful job he's done. There's your Kitchen Saver scoring drive. 5 plays, 65 yards. Barely took a couple minutes off the clock for that touchdown. And just a reminder, too, you can get a dream kitchen in under a week with a free quote at kitchensaver.com. Good look there at big number 12, Cam Gladden, the 4-year starter. As Jeff mentioned, a speed merchant as well, too, and that is just barely going to make it into the end zone. I'm telling you, if you're a deep man for the Cougars, you've got to be near that football, but don't touch it, but you got to make sure it crosses the goal line.
It's a live ball down there.
Exactly.
You better pay attention.
Delaware County is the home of where we once had, because of soccer lines and confusion in the end zone, we had a 105-yard kickoff return for a touchdown that should not have happened. Dale Carlson was the analyst on that game, the former head coach at that time of Ohio Dominican. We were undefeated forever until the first season started. All right, 1st and 10. Now, Beechcroft gets it back, Jeff. Impressive in that last drive where they go 65 yards with a pass to Douglas. What do you look for from Scott and company now?
Randy, again, they want to spread the field. They want to make sure they get their athletes one-on-one with some of these defensive backs and see if they can make big plays.
Trips to the top, one wide out to the bottom, one back in the backfield. Let's see if they keep it on the ground. This time they do, to the outside. And can Henderson get there? He does. And again, that's a tough diagonal run for that guy, but he's able to find the little gap there on the outside. Deshaun Henderson, a guy that had 3 carries for 10 yards coming into this contest. We'll see what happens now.
Again, only 1 game this season
Flag on
so
the far
far.
side.
Yeah, this kid's a really good player, Randy. And you can see the vision here, able to get around to the corner. A few missed tackles. And we've got, these guys don't like to be crowded over there. These officials.
Beechcroft.
So both teams have received a sideline warning. Next time it happens, it will be a penalty.
Jeff, I just got a message. It's a text. Says, Jeff, move away from the window. You're too close too. So.
Oh, my goodness.
So one each now if you're scoring on sideline warnings, and if you are, get a different life, okay? 2 wide to the top of the set now with 3:58 left to go. 14-6 the tally in this one.
Uh-oh, he doesn't like it.
Humphrey Simmons not thrilled at all, and his crew. One man in motion, and that is Burns. Roshan in motion. Scott with pressure. Weaves, finds that gap. What do we say about the broken plays and trying to make something out of nothing? He does it there, and again, Danger's holding the ball on the inside hand. That's not going to get you extra yardage that way. You've got to have it on the outside hand anyway.
Randy, this may be the biggest catch of the game so far. Watch the quarterback receive the snap. That ball way up there, one hands it. That thing could have gone awful. Yet Aurelia Scott turns it into a first down, and the Beechcroft Cougars are in business at the 50-yard line.
Nearly 20 on that play, and again, he looked more like a guy trying to make a fair catch if he didn't get that. Getting the ball up to the midfield stripe now with just 3:49 left to go. 1st and 10 from there on another Home Appliance Solutions first down. Again with 2 wide at the top, 1 at the bottom. This time 2 backs in the backfield. A cross play, and there's a gap right up the middle, and look at Henderson. He picks up 15 more on the play, and another first down for Beechcroft. What are they doing special on the offensive line?
Well, Randy, I think what they're doing at this point is some misdirection in there, and this time just a good read by the quarterback, hands it off to the tailback up the middle, and a lot of flat-footed defenders right now. Touchdown-saving tackle by the cornerback, Teddy Dancer, out there on the defensive front for the Golden Eagles.
Douglas with a touchdown catch goes to the top of the formation along with Radford. In fact, they'll make it a triad to the top 2, joined now by Khalil Samuel, returning starter. 1 wide to the bottom of the set 2, and Burns. 1 back in the backfield, that's Henderson. It's almost like a slow motion snap that time, and Scott rolling, looking, gunning deep downfield, has a man down the sidelines, waits for the football, makes the catch in the end zone. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown, and the aforementioned Khalil Samuel has a touchdown catch.
Randy, that's the impact of having a running quarterback that gets out on the perimeter, and what happens is that corner took his eye off of his receiver, thinking he's going to have to go up there and defend the quarterback running the ball, and as soon as the receiver saw that, he took off upfield, and you got caught looking in the backfield, and that ends up as a touchdown. And we'll see if Beechcroft goes for 2 here, having missed the extra point on a bad snap.
The shorter guy.
First go.
They need somebody else on the field. They got 10 out there right now. You go to Khalil Samuel, and look at him. He's just a sophomore, but he played last year. He's got 3 catches coming into this game for 23 yards. And his brother, Shimar, was a great athlete at Beechcroft as well, too. So now a chance to tie this contest. Quick gun across the middle, pass is picked off now. And they'll blow it dead, so the try for 2 is negated with 3:20 left to go. And extra points could be a factor here in this one for Beechcroft, as that time it looked like there was an opening as well, too, for Scott, but he opted to gun that in there, look for the slant pattern. Instead, it is picked off, and we stay at a 2-point cushion now at 14-12.
Yeah, quick slant. The pass was delivered. I mean, a good job of getting the ball out quickly.
It's time now for the music around Coach's Corner. Had a chance to catch up with Beechcroft head coach, the one and only Humphrey Simmons, and asked him what motivates him to coach multiple sports in the City League each year, and what he believes makes his quarterback and Aurelia Scott such a special talent. Here's what he had to say.
I love my city. I just love coaching in the city. And then by me working at Beechcroft, I just want to give Beechcroft as much as I can give them. You know, walking away, I don't do it for myself. I do it for the kids, you know. So if the kids is happy and, you know, they're having a successful season, you know, that's all that matters to me. I'm just being patient, understanding how to read defenses. Also, I think him just being a baseball player, you know, he has that accuracy of an arm.
That time went for the heater for the 2-point conversion, and perhaps he could have legged it out to first base himself. But Coach Simmons has to be happy with what he's seen early on when you take a look at his team. You know, Jeff, in week 1, they had 182 yards of total offense, 175 passing, and 7 rushing. The first time that Henderson touched the ball, he doubled that.
Yeah, impressive start. I think a lot of people are shocked by the start of this football game.
And the return, slow developing, but a big gap right up the middle this time across the 40 all the way up to the 41-yard line. That's going to be a return of some 31 yards on the play. Bell ringing by the Big Walnut faithful as Pantello and company have them in good shape. And there's your Kitchen Saver scoring summary for the 4th time in this quarter. That one goes 80 yards in 47 seconds. A great play to get that pass off to Samuel for the touchdown. And just like that, it is 14-12. All right, you mentioned perhaps a little flatness at times there from Big Walnut. Has the offense shown you that?
No, I think they've been out of sync just a little bit, maybe offensively in the first drive of the game, but defensively, I'm just looking at a flat-footed defense out there so far, and don't take anything away from Beechcroft. I think they have come out and decided that they're just not going to lay down in this football game. They're going to compete. They were late getting here tonight, but they are not late arriving in the end zone here the first couple of times.
12-game regular season winning streak on the line for Big Walnut now on his first down and 10 from the 41-yard line. Wow, look at this. You could drive a truck through the right side here. Plenty of room across midfield inside the 45-yard line. That was almost like a practice play because he had plenty of opening the right-hand side. He waited for something to materialize to his left, saw nothing, and opted to scoot it then to the right side.
Yeah, this is very similar to the touchdown pass that Beechcroft just had where the quarterback gets outside, but instead of looking downfield, he decides to tuck it and run. And the tight end, Brad Kildew, was downfield, but not in a position to be able to make the block successfully. Now we got a little plate change going on to the sidelines.
Gain of 16 on the play. A lot of life already in this game. 9 minutes in, we've got 4 touchdowns. First one to 40 wins from the 44 of the Cougars. Big gap right up the middle inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. There's a helmet free. One of the Eagles will have to check out on the play.
Armin Vickers on the tackle there, the defensive end, another one of those guys that plays both ways. And I can tell you what, number 51 passes the look test. When I was down there on the field before the football game and saw this young man warming up, 6'3", 290, a senior. This is a really good football player. 2
solos, an assist, a sack, a tackle for a loss. Also a guy that played at DeSales last year, likes animals and math. And the math would tell me that it's second down and just about 5 from there now from the 39-yard line. The handoff off the right side. There's a gap down the sideline. Sievers goes, going to tiptoe and make it into the end zone for the touchdown. 2:17 left to go. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown coming your way. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. But was there a holding penalty on the play at the 37-yard line?
It's coming back.
All right, that's the second time we've had a flag on a scoring play. And we'll see what Mr. Hammond says.
Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty from the spot. Repeat, second down.
Ramos Roofing is getting a lot of extra time tonight on what have been aborted touchdowns. Take a look at this one more time.
There's a hold right there at the corner. Yep, no question about it. And Andy, as you mentioned, tiptoeing the sidelines there, making sure he did not go out of bounds. It gives you some idea of the capacity of this young man, Nate Sievers, to be able to put the ball in the end zone. But again, another mental and physical mistake by this Big Walnut football team.
So we'll mark it back to the 47-yard line. It'll be second down there, second and about 13. Little screen near side. Sievers has got it, and he's got some company there. The first guy through there was, again, big number 51. You talked about him earlier, Armand Vickers.
Yeah, and here's a guy that had to adjust himself out there in the flat. He read the play. He noticed it was a screen, felt the pressure, was able to reverse his field at 290 pounds. It's tough to move that truck backwards. Watch this. He flies right back in there to be able to make the play, again, with the support of the defensive backs coming up as well.
Mid-season form, folks, and the sound effects already from one Mr. Logan. Third down. Oh, just about a dozen from there. Near, guns across the middle. Oh, a little too strong on the play. Had the guy crossing there in Cam Gladden, but just a little too tall, so it's going to set up what looks to be a punting scenario.
Yeah, he'd been a little bit more patient. He had Nate Sneed, number 16, wide open going down the left side. But he had the crossing pattern over the middle, and there you can see the coaching up going on the sidelines with quarterback Jake Neer. Very fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted, Randy. You throw that ball high over the middle like that, generally a free safety's there, just like the center fielder in baseball.
So mark the ball back to the line of scrimmage of the 46. Punting situation now for Gladden and company. Floating snap. He's got time, and he hangs one. Nicely done inside the 20. And takes a bounce inside the 10, inside the 5, and just barely trickles into the end zone.
Good decision not to touch that football as it was heading for the end zone.
Feels like our 20th possession of this first quarter as Beechcroft will get it back now. Down 14-12 in this one. Big Walnut, a team that you mentioned a great run last year, Jeff. When you look at it, all those wins, St. Charles, Zanesville, beat Beechcroft. Delaware Hayes, Westerville South, Franklin Heights, Kilbourne, Westerville North, Dublin Scioto, Canal Winchester, Olentangy, and Canal Winchester before falling to Massillon, Washington back on November the 12th, a team that just was a juggernaut last year. And so many guys back on this team from last year. And we mentioned the +4 coming into this contest with turnovers. That was the first drive that did not end with a touchdown for either team so far in this first stanza, according to Jake Stewart, our outstanding statistician, who learned where the old Big Walnut High School was tonight. And there was no game there tonight.
Well, he used to play there. He played lacrosse over there, so why not? I mean,
he was ready. If any other laxers showed up. Scott, he's got trouble here. What can he do? Can he throw it away? He guns it upfield, and they complete the pass. Oh, my goodness. Again, we talk about a broken play. Henderson comes back to the football and makes something happen there, and he's going to advance the ball up to the 28-yard line.
That breaks every rule in football.
Oh, yeah.
Don't throw late. Don't throw over the middle like that. I mean, that should have been an absolute disaster.
Whack.
Yet able to make the play, and what makes the difference is the receiver, the running back, Deshaun Henderson, came back to the football, Randy, to be able to make the play.
And then it was 2nd down and 2 from the 28. Scott dumps it off. Henderson, nice inside tuck. Will get drilled right at the 34-yard line. He did the spin move inside, and then Teddy Dancer said the dance is going to stop here and drills him there. But that's enough for a first down. And again, that underneath passing game, if they can't find the big thing, Jeff, we talked about it, that's one way they can kind of milk some of that clock.
Looks like Dancer got dinged on the play as well. He's going to come out, and the medical staff's going to spend a little bit of time with him. You talk about living on the edge. Quarterback Aurelius Scott has had his hands full back there, but athletically able to get the ball out to Deshaun Henderson again, and another first down. Clock running, and don't know if we'll get another play here by the end of the first quarter.
Coach Page not a happy camper right now, looking for better things from his team, and stands in number 2. From the 35 as they readjust, that'll do it. First 12 minutes in the book. We've got 26 points already this contest. With the conversions, Big Walnut up by 2, 14-12. This is Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus. You know, Jeff, I alluded to Canadian football in the first quarter. In the first 12 minutes, we had 374 yards of total offense between these two teams. Hello, Montreal.
One of my fears, you mentioned the Ohio State-Notre Dame game this weekend, is the what I'm going to maybe the best compliment I can give Ohio State's defense a year ago was putrid. If I see this kind of defense tomorrow, I'm done.
But if you like exciting football, you've come to the right place. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. We lost the second on the clock. They need to reset that. That's why we've stopped. Clock reads 11:59. It has to be 12 minutes because no time should have elapsed. There we go. Thank you. So DeJuan Hammonds and company get what they like. And you get a first down play from the 35. Head coach Humphrey Simmons, by the way, is the offensive coordinator, showing blitz. And they're coming. And pressure's on. And Scott rolling for his life and sliding into second base right at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, good decision there by the quarterback. Live to play another day out there. Don't take any unnecessary hits. They're not a real deep at that quarterback spot. Randy, Coach Humphrey Simmons told you before the game earlier this week he wanted to slow down the pace. Now, what they're doing to slow down the pace, they're letting that play clock run all the way down into single digits before they call plays. But I don't know that 374 yards of total offense is representative of slowing down the pace.
In theory, you should be watching for the back judge and Chris McCaleb to lift his arm when there's 5 seconds left before the play. If you can't see the play clock, they have a great one here, though, at the new facility. He snaps it with 8, and he's going nowhere. There's the defense right up the gut, and there was nowhere to go. And that was Mr. Fountain, who we saw running back earlier, coming through at defensive end to make the hit. 4 solos, 1 tackle for a loss for the returning starter.
It was fairly emotional on the sidelines at the end of the first quarter with the defensive staff and the defense, with really the flat-footedness of their football team early in this football game. And it looks like they have flipped the switch here, and the motor has been elevated. Great job by the defensive end, Tyon Fountain.
Get out the calculator here. It's going to be 3rd down and 23 from the 22-yard line. Well, you've got the speedsters. Do you look that direction?
Well, Jaden Douglas, already has a long touchdown catch and run, number 4.
They split 2 to either side. High snap, and with that, Scott's going to just run for his life. Those floating snaps are deadly. At that time, Scott able just to get that ball and get it up to around the 20-yard line. And we've got a player down right now at the 22-yard line. If that is Henderson, that is a huge loss. He's down right at the 22. No, it's one of the offensive line. I mean, it's 5-0 and not 2-0. So that is Morel Cox. So Cox is down on the turf right now. Cox is the big right tackle. He is one of their top performers on the offensive line. So Cox, not only on the offensive line, but also defensive tackle as well, too. So they'll attend to that two-way starter down on the floor. It is time now for the Music Around Coach's Corner, and I had the chance to talk to Big Walnut head coach Rob Page about his philosophy on the Eagles defending the 2021 Conference Championship and the message he has for his team in 2022.
Some people like to use the term like defending or something like that, and like I've never understood that mentality because there's nothing to defend. That championship is on a conference championship banner in the gym, and it's never coming down, and there's nothing to defend. This is a brand new year, new team. I love having a new team because you get the ability to build a team and do it together, and that's really what's fun. And our guys work really hard. They are selfless. They do things for each other, and I couldn't be happier to be here, get the opportunity to coach those guys. It's a lot of fun.
Music Around can help with all your instrument needs at 2630 Bethel Road and Gahanna inside the Stone Ridge Plaza as they help out the aforementioned number 50, Mr. Cox, to the sidelines. And again, right now with Beechcroft, Jeff, if anybody goes down, you're losing 2 starters, not just 1.
Man, that doesn't look good either. Dragging him off the field there. It's the left leg that they were working on, and medical staff, which throughout all of the Central Ohio, the trainers, the medical staff does an excellent job out supporting these young men that are part of this game of football, and thanks to them for the hard work that they put in.
Great words, too, from Rob Page, too. Each year is a separate entity unto itself, Jeff. You don't worry about defending anything. And here's a guy, too, we mentioned, coached at Turpin in the past and Reading as well. Also coached at Milan, Indiana as the head coach there. That was the home of a basketball. A great moment, the Milan Miracle. Remember when they had that great basketball team with the likes of Plum and Rail back in the 50s, which kind of led to the movie Hoosiers. And there is the kick. And remember, got a two-way person there in Henderson, and he just shanked that thing, and it's going to go to the 35-yard line. So a net on that play of only about 13 yards. Takes it, in essence, back to the original line of scrimmage, and now a short field for the Eagles to traverse with 10:06 left to go in the first half.
Yeah, this was one of the fears I think that Beechcroft had coming into this football game, was giving Big Walnut a short field to be able to execute, and being able to start a drive on the opponent's 35-yard line is perfect as far as Big Walnut is concerned. This really opens up the playbook for quarterback Jake Neer.
Cardell Denby, a Northland grad, a cousin of the head coach, Humphrey Simmons, is the D coordinator. Now Rob Page, the head coach for the Eagles, trying to see what he can dial up with his team. 1st and 10, 35 yards away from Pater. Neer with forever to throw. Now a little pressure and weaves to his left, and he's got room. He's got the first down inside the 25. That'll be another Bowling Green State University first down, and he'll move the chains with 9:57 left to go to half.
Boy, a terrific block out on the perimeter there by Grant Conklin. Looking back into the middle, really a nice job. Once again, this is a play that is taking a long time to develop. Jake Neer waiting for that drag pattern to come over the middle. Nothing there. Tucks it and is able to run it and come up with the first down.
More on Conklin in a bit. He's a great story. This time Neer on the keeper inside the 20, inside the 15, and down there with his knee touching just inside the 16-yard line, close to the sticks again. Conklin, a guy that likes physics, has strong Christian beliefs, plays basketball, and had 14 pancakes in a game. I don't want to brag, but I had about that many before the game tonight as well, too. But just a great frame, too, at 6'4" and 295 and a multiple-year starter.
Yeah, they call him a monster. He dominates out there. Very good football player, a lot of D2 offers.
And that time the pressure gets to there, and he's brought down on the play by big number 9, Javontis Scholl, defensive end, as they finally get inside the red zone. By the way, transform your bathroom in one day. Get started at batfitter.com, but it's going to knock it past the 20-yard line. Watch this one more time.
Yeah, no chance here at all for the quarterback, Jake Neary. He was getting pressure from the very beginning. Best thing you can do is just take care of the football. And Javontis Scholl, as you mentioned, Randy, a senior coming from that defensive end position.
Returning starter, but last year's season was cut short by injury. He likes school and sports. He's got a birthday coming up on the 28th. They 58 left to go and ticking here. Second down and forever. They need 21. Near waiting, looking for second and third options, and bounces that pass short at the 22-yard line. Intended on the play for Nate Snead.
Good job by the secondary that time. That is a secondary pressure. Nobody to be able to throw the football to. Those cornerbacks back there, it's really interesting, Randy. I thought this might be a weakness of this football team. You got Jameer Radford over there, number 13, a freshman at one corner, and a sophomore, Terrell Russell, the other corner. You would think they would be able to pick on them, but so far, so good for the Cougars on defense.
Empty backfield on the third down and 21, although they'll readjust now and move the receivers from top to bottom and vice versa. Near, underneath, little middle screen, and nothing there. Got it inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, and that is it. Hit made on the play by big number 54. That is Elijah Ocheri Boake, and he makes the hit on big number 15, and that is Grant Colson. So now, do you contemplate a field goal opportunity here?
Yeah, I'm just going to go EOB on this guy. Elijah does a really nice job from that defensive tackle position. Look at him adjust and read what was going on.
Henderson there, too.
Yeah, Henderson actually is the guy that did make the play, coming from that outside linebacker position. But defensive tackle number 54, EOB, right there to make the play.
Now, this is about at the range for Gladden. It's 41 yards, and my goodness, he's got the leg. And he drills it. So much for a range of 40.
That's impressive.
That was 41, and it made it from 50 if he wanted to, so they get 3 more on the board. Get out your abacus here now. We'll make it 17-12 with Beechcroft getting the ball back, with 7:59 left to go in the first half. And now a word from our good friends at Toyota.
With a new Toyota, you can practically make summer stand still. From making a splash in a Highlander to fitting in more fun in a Camry or tackling a trailhead in a RAV4 hybrid. Who's a good boy? Enjoy the last of summer in an exciting new Toyota during Toyota's national sales event.
Save big on the best-selling SUV Toyota RAV4, like this electrified RAV4 hybrid with fuel savings over $3,700. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
17-12, the count on this one. Youth cheerleader night here at Big Walnut High School. We had all the youth cheerleaders joining us in the open. Not necessarily planned, but it worked out pretty well, too. And a great job, too, by the planning of one Coach Rob Page with his team. You know, each of his 3 years, Jeff, they've won more games each and every year. And a team that this year is averaging 330 yards total offense per contest. And this time we'll have a return starting from the 2-yard line. First kick that's been able to be returned, and return's going to bring it up to around the 26. So return of 24 yards on the play by Terrell Russell. And there's your kitchen saver scoring summary, and it netted that field goal of 41 yards from Gladden and made the margin now at 5 points at 17-12. Jeff, again, for the latecomers, not what we expected coming into this contest, was it?
No, it really wasn't, Randy, especially after only one game played this year because of the Columbus City School strike. And in that first game, Beechcroft got smoked by a really good Thomas Worthington football team. They were supposed to play St. Charles, no contest there. And so we're just kind of thinking the way that it would go. But Aurelius Scott has been a difference maker in the game tonight. There you can see his numbers. Perfect. 3 out of 3 for 80 yards.
He's got 3 to the bottom, 1 to the top, 1 back in the backfield now with Henderson to his right on this first down play, courtesy of Bowling Green State University. And he rolls that way and rolls into pressure. And the guy that came through uncontested that time was Ethan Clausen, big number 9, the inside backer who had a fumble recovery for a touchdown against Hartley. He has D2 offer, should get some D1s here. 6'4", 220, a senior, and he's got moves.
Yeah, you know, the thing is that Ethan Clausen, had there not been this Stover kid that is not playing tonight on this roster on defense, there might be more eyes looking at Ethan Clausen. 6'4", 220, got great length to be able to play that inside linebacker position, and a good read, and we got a timeout by Beechcroft.
First charge timeout.
Beechcroft will burn their first timeout. We'll step aside. 7:19 left to go. The Cougars with the ball down by 5 here on the CW. Welcome back to Big Walnut High School in lovely Sunbury, Ohio. Glad to have you aboard. Week number 3 of high school football action here on the CW Columbus. At Beechcroft with the football down in this contest, 17-12. We had 374 yards total offense in the first quarter. We had games where we didn't have that much total offense. And Scott now from a gun. Right now they seem to have his number, Jeff, with the pressure. Let's see if they dial up again.
Yeah, they've made some adjustments, Randy, in the way that they're packaging that defense, and they've been blitzing like crazy. This time they're going to get burned on one of those blitzes. They brought the inside linebacker right up. The quarterback read the play, found a gap, and Aurelius Scott is back in business for the Beechcroft Cougars.
And he's got the first down. Explain to me what he's doing with the football, though, in the inside arm, reaching the ball forward instead of using it in the outside arm. Here, watch this. It's the third time he's done this. Coach him up. He's driving his coach crazy, our producer Dean Marini says.
I think at this stage, the coach is just saying, get me the first down. I don't care what it looks like. If we get an extra 1 or 2 out there, that's great, but just get me the first down and secure the football more than anything else.
But Big Walnut has made a statement here recently, Jeff. They have just thrown the offense away for the Cougars. Said, look, right now you're going to have to fight to get any play off. If you can make a broken play, so be it. But right now, protection has not been there, and he'll gun it on the out pattern, and the pass falls incomplete. Intended on the play for number 1, it is Roshan Burns.
Roshan Burns covered out there by Zach Griffith, the safety.
Jason Ross, the D coordinator for Big Walnut. I asked Coach Page about that 4-2-5 and why they like it. He says it provides flexibility to line up against spread formations and still have enough numbers in the box as well, too. Pretty standard. They have that spill philosophy, too, Jeff, if you want to touch on that after this play. Actually, we have time now. What's it mean when they say spill philosophy?
What they're trying to do is they're trying to spread and make sure that the ball carrier is running sideline to sideline instead of north and south. So spill it to the outside. You make sure your sideline is your friend.
First incompleted pass for Aurelius Scott in this contest. 2nd down and 10 now. Little toss, and nothing there. Trying to find a gap to the outside was Jameer Radford, and Big Walnut just read that perfectly. Great pursuit by that defense. You can see guys like 23 and 31 spilling to the football. Wes Skinner and also Wayne Conley.
Yeah, Skinner at 6'4", 230 pounds, playing that left defensive end position, able to secure the perimeter. What I mean by that is not allowing that play to get outside of him. That is his number 1 responsibility. And you can see 23 getting wide there, making sure that that play comes back up inside. Lane Conley, number 31, defensive lineman, in there to make the play as well.
Skinner, a guy that's been a tight end, a running back, and an offensive lineman in the past. And according to Coach Page, he calls him a guy that's sometimes unblockable, very physical with his hands. You saw it right there. Third down. And they're going to need a dozen to move the sticks, and we've got a whistle on the field. We have another timeout.
Timeout, Beechcroft. That's their second charge timeout of the half.
You are so right, Mr. Hammonds, and they have one remaining. With a grand total of 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Coming up, it's the Door Depot halftime show. You are going to want to stick around for a conversation with Vincent Clarno that I'll have on the return to athletics for the Columbus City School students, plus your scores from around Central Ohio. It's all coming up on the Door Depot halftime show. In the second half, I'll talk to Andy Jados, the outstanding principal here at Big Walnut, who I covered, Jeff, 7,000 years ago when he played basketball for Ed Kalo when he was in year number 2 at Westerville South, who we will see Westerville South in football, by the way, next week. And currently, they're number 1 in Division II in their region. In fact, the next 2 weeks are Westerville against Dublin. Next week, it's South against Scioto. You won't be here, and of course, it's the closest game to your house. And then the following week, it is Central against Kaufman.
Get the opportunity next week to continue my tradition of emceeing the induction dinner for the Ohio State University Athletics Hall of Fame. Believe it or not, 14 people going into this year's class of the Hall of Fame for Ohio State. A number of them what we call pioneers that are deceased, no longer with us, but certainly deserving of being in the Hall of Fame.
And Pat Samanich, the legendary head coach in New Albany in the past, will try to fill your shoes for a week. And look at Scott. He needs 12. He's going to get about 4, and he had to run for his life. Skinner, again, that time got him for the backside, big number 23. It'll be 4th down and long.
Yeah, that came from the blind side. He had no idea that Skinner was peeling back on the play. And, again, Aurelio Scott trying to make something out of nothing. I'd really like to know what those adjustments are from a coaching standpoint that Big Walnut made in the second quarter. It's been meaningful. I think it's more of a blitz package that we're seeing, more so than what we saw. They were laying back. I mentioned flat-footed in the first quarter. Now they've decided to really go after the quarterback and put pressure on him.
Sometimes to be aggressive, you have to be aggressive and come in a scenario here where you're actually going to call some blitzing and gaming a little bit, and that's what the Eagles have done here in quarter number 2. Pat Samanich, by the way, is a little taller than you, but I don't know if he can fill your shoes.
He's smarter.
He's a great
He's smarter,
guy.
I can promise you that.
He's listening to us right now. In fact, he's in the booth. We may talk to him in the second half. The return going to start from the 30-yard line. Nothing there. Look at the reverse of the field this time by Pentello, and he'll actually lose yardage and be down around the 33-yard line for the big number 2 for Big Walnut. So now the Eagles get it back with 5:18 left to go. Make that 5:13 left to go here in the first half, and up by 5.
Yeah, Pentello not about to give up on that kick return, trying to turn something in. You know, and Randy, we talk about the adjustments that Big Walnut has seemed to have made defensively here in the second half, but the second quarter. The one thing that I will mention to you, this Beechcroft defense has played terrific so far in this football game. There's our quarterback, Jake Neer, 5 out of 8 for 68 yards and a touchdown, and he's had some pretty good running numbers, too, in this football game. And Beechcroft, one man shy of 11, finally get him on the field.
Young man who started playing flag football in first grade guns it downfield. The pass is complete across the midfield stripe and it gained down to around the 48-yard line. Caught on the play by number 16 for Big Walnut, and that is Nate Sneed. So Sneed with a nice catch. Very smart young man who's part of Honors Anatomy and Student Council. Has a first down for the Eagles at the 48 of the Cougars.
Yeah, Nate Sneed with a touchdown catch already this year. Doing a good job for this football team. Again, had him wide open earlier in the game and weren't able to get him the football. That time, a good job by the receiver of sitting down in the zone when he found the soft spot, giving his quarterback a good target to throw to.
Young man who likes Trek, glass, and ceramics. A nice sidestep that time by Sievers inside the 35-yard line. That's what they need a steady dose of, I think, right now on this drive, maybe in the waning moments of the half before Radford's able to knock him down.
Yeah, you know, you're overmanned in terms of the number of football players on that Beechcroft team. If you want to wear them out, you do it by running the football. Jameer Radford, the freshman cornerback, watch number 13 come up and make the touchdown-saving tackle right there. When you can get a young man that's out there, 14 or 15 years old as a freshman, to be able to play at that level, he's got a great future ahead of him.
Drive the defense, can't drive a car. The ball is free, and who's going to get it? I think the Cougars had it. I thought they had a better chance on the other side of the 50, but indeed they will cover up the football and get the recovery as they still tussle for it across midfield. And guys, the play is over. You can give it up now.
Officials have already identified that the ball is going to Beechcroft.
And they'll have it. The recovery made on the play. by the Cougars.
Boy, the ball just falls out of the hand, I think, of the quarterback, Jake Neer. He's back here, and boom, ball flips out. He's got no chance of being able to come up with the football there, and you can see the recovery. And first turnover of the game, if I'm not mistaken, Randy?
Yes, and Scholl with a lot of good pressure in that play, number 9, so now give it back to the Cougars. 4:05 left to go. If you're Coach Simmons right now, you would love that slow, methodical drive. In the words of Paul Keels, take it downfield, get that late score. Remember, too, Beechcroft deferred, so the Cougars will get the ball to start the second half.
And only one timeout remaining for Beechcroft, so. But this is a quick strike football team. They try and come up with big plays.
But you need time to throw it, and they haven't had it recently. See if they dial up the pressure again. Right up the middle. Little bubble that time, and on the catch is number 1, Roshan Burns. And tell you what, Scott is lucky to come out of that with his life.
The one thing that you got to do, and that was Nicky Pentello, I think, that came up to make the play. If you're coming up from that cornerback position, you got to break down. Was that Pentello or was that Zach? I think it's Zach Griffith that came up from the safety spot. You got to break down. You just can't come in there flying full speed. That receiver will give you one little shake and sugar and you're toast. And that's exactly what happened there. That could have gone for a big play.
Clausen drilled Scott after he got rid of the football. So on the play, they'll lose 3. Second down and a baker's dozen now with 3:25 and ticking here the first half. A new look for them with 3 backs in the backfield. New look, old result. Nothing there offensively on the ground. Henderson was effective on a couple carries early in this contest, but since then they've shut down that running game. There's absolutely nothing in the middle. Look at the guys that are getting up to the bottom of the pile, the likes of big number 90, helping to make the hit on the play. That's Cohen Lyles, who's 5'11", 265, and but a junior.
Yeah. Cohen Lyles would be one of those guys that Walnut's going to take
first charge,
try and control that clock a little bit. But Cohen Lyles would be part of my all short, stocky team. You know,
are you on that team?
The fire hydrant team. You know, and again, that is a term of endearment. Oh yeah, I'm in that group. Yeah. He's a fire plug out there at 5'11", 265, playing that defensive tackle position, and he's able to line up down in there with Grant Conklin, number 78. You talk about 2 space eaters that are in there on the defensive side. That is a really good front for the Golden Eagles.
Jeff, we know that you were stellar on offense and special teams, but did you play any defense at all in your career?
You know, Randy, I played on 3rd and longs, and I would go into the safety spot just to, really more than anything else, to be out there for the punt return. And not have to, run off the field or whatever. So 3rd down and longs, I would get out there, but that was about it.
Did Woody ever contemplate bringing you out on defense?
Not a chance.
Really?
Not a chance, and I wasn't going over there either. I didn't want any part of those knuckleheads. There is a different mindset of a defensive football player. They are, in many cases, they're not well.
Yeah,
you just got to understand. Yeah. They have problems. They are not well if they're playing on the defensive side of the ball.
So did you have any friends on defense?
No.
Okay.
No.
I just thought I'd check.
Yeah. It's funny. I say that. My old teammate, Bob Brzezinski, who was a great All-American defensive end for Ohio State, had a meeting with him early this morning up from Miami.
Pressure on and nothing there from the backside. What a collision on the play. I don't
Speaking of Brzezinski, that was a Brzezinski kind of hit.
That's Clausen again.
And slow to get up as your quarterback, number 2, Aurelius Scott. But you talk about a great defensive football player. Timeout again by Big Walnut. Watch again the hit coming from the backside. Aurelius has no idea this is coming. That is a perfect hit and just a surprise. You know, he just had no idea that was coming. But Bob Brzezinski was a great All-American. Played a number of years, 13 years, I want to say, in the National Football League. Lives down in Miami still, but he's back in here this weekend for the Ohio State Notre Dame football game that'll come to you at 7:30 tomorrow night.
A couple of things. First of all, Ethan Clausen, according to Coach Page, runs a 4.6 and hits like a truck, and you saw it right there with the damage he did do Mr. Scott as well, too. And also a little disclaimer to the comments about defense were those of Jeff Logan. Your mileage may vary, not available in Nebraska. So there's your disclaimer.
But you can take him to the bank, though. I'm going to tell you right now. The mindset of a defensive player is just different than the offensive side. They are special at what they do. They are really good at what they do.
Did you ever talk to the defense and the other team and try to soften them up at all before a game?
No. You don't get near them.
I mean, Merlin Olsen was big on taking out the offensive linemen to dinner.
You stay away from those people.
Okay.
Different areas of the locker room. Let them go do what they do over there. Let the skilled offensive guys prepare mentally for the football game.
Jake had that picture, I think, a couple of weeks ago of you, Jeff, from the Orange Bowl. We should kind of hunt that up again.
With lots of hair.
Yeah, Goldilocks Logan there, yeah. All right, punting situation now. And Henderson will get it off and going to hit inside the 30-yard line and take a kind eagle roll. You got to down that, and they do, but not till it crosses the 34. All right, the scenario is this. Big Walnut's got it back, up by 5. 1 timeout left, 2:32 on the clock for one more drive.
You know, this is an important drive in this football game, especially, Randy, you mentioned the fact that Beechcroft will get the ball to start the second half. And, this head football coach on the defensive side thinking of a way to stop him. This head coach on the offensive side really looking to see if his offense, with only 1 timeout, can go get a score. Now, remember, we've got a 41-yard field goal in this game, so field goal range is one of the goals that they would have, but they want to put this ball in the end zone here with 2:32 remaining.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line, they're going to call it. Near, guns it, downfield, pass complete. Catch made by Pantello, and that was thrown into traffic, but a rifle for an arm that time by Jake Neer, who found his man, and Pantello's got the first down.
Any question about arm strength here? Watch him step into this ball. I mean, mechanics were perfect. Nicky Pantello gave him a good target, but again, Jake Neer, excellent job.
21 yards on the play, and all of a sudden, Sievers came out of that big scrum at around the 35-yard line and takes it in for the touchdown. There was a mosh pit right in the middle of the field, and it looked like the play was done. Then all of a sudden, guess who comes out? Sievers comes out and takes it in for the touchdown. That's another Ramos Roofing touchdown if there's no flags, by the way. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF.
We'll show you the full part of this play, but Randy, you mentioned it. It was a scrum. There was a mess in there, a mosh pit. And there's no way anybody's coming out of this play. But look, come on, pop. And then boom, there goes number 7, and nobody around him to be able to make the play. And that's just great effort by that line, as well as his effort as the running back. 8 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown here in the first half. The extra point kick was good by Gladden. And just like that, we've got a quick score again, Randy.
That was a big statement by Big Walnut here late in the first half to give them a bit of a cushion with 2:07 left to go. And right now they're controlling things. Big play by Sievers, and also their defense effectively has shut down not only the offense, but the breaking play that Beechcroft was able to get. The broken play in the first half was there early on, but so far they've shut down everything. And again, we talk about spilling things, Jeff, that spilling philosophy. They've been very effective with that and not stopping until the play is done along the sidelines. Coach Simmons now has some work to do with his team.
I think Coach Simmons was having a conversation with the officials about maybe was his progress stopped and should there have been a whistle, but certainly not. They didn't stop the play, nor did Big Walnut stop playing out there. And this young man able to come up with the quick score.
That's how you go 66 yards in less than a half a minute. Your Kitchen Saver drive as you check out those numbers on your screen. Don't forget, you can get your dream kitchen in under a week with a free quote at kitchensaver.com. Gladden been a busy man in the first half here. 36 points so far by both teams combined with till 2:07 left to go. Line drive kick. And there will be a return from the 8. To the far side, up across the 20 to the 25 and up across the 30-yard line. So a nice return on the play for Beechcroft as Russell will bring it back for the second time in this contest. Now here's a view of this from the backside.
Watching it from behind the offense, and you can see that a lot of arm tackling going on, and just to the left of your screen is when all of a sudden number 7 pops out of nowhere, and Nate Sievers is able to take it into the end zone for the score. You can see his excitement as he's able to take it into the end zone. That's got to be a play that really gets you juiced over there, because there's nothing. It's like running the ball in a closet, and then all of a sudden you find out that it's wide open and nothing between you and the goal line. So great job of not giving up on the play by Nate Sievers.
Whenever I think of that rugby mosh pit, I always think of Bishop Hartley. It seems like they would excel in that because of the size of their offensive line, Jeff, and they would just push the entire pile another 5 yards when they needed it in a critical play late in the contest. Eagles cheat one guy up from the outside of the line. They'll bring pressure now with 5. And Scott just running for his life right now up across the the 35 up to near the 40-yard line with 1:53 left to go here in the first half.
Run out of bounds by Tyon Fountain. Again, a lot of pressure coming right up the middle. And, it's a little bit of a high risk if you're blitzing this guy, because if Aurelius Scott can find a seam, he's going to make you pay for it. But that time, the Eagles were solid in terms of the defense.
But still a good gain on the play. They're going to get the ball up to around the 39-yard line. It'll be second down and short. They need about 3 to move the sticks again with just under 2 minutes left to go here in the half. Down by 12, but they've scored 12. Now look at the way they're crowding that line, Jeff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually 8 guys within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're coming right up the gut. Scott again rolling for his life, gunning downfield, looking, pushing the ball, and the pass incomplete. That time more of a push than a throw to Jaden Douglas.
Yeah, that's an all-out blitz. I mean, they got everybody in the box, Randy, as you mentioned, and they're just bringing the heat on quarterback Aurelius Scott. Wouldn't be surprised if they try and go with a little quick throw bubble screen. We saw the Ethan Clausen, the inside linebacker, number 9 coming in. Looked like he had a direct line on the quarterback, but great pickup in the backfield by Deshaun Henderson.
Right now, if you're the Cougars, you have to be concerned with 3 yards and 3 yards only. So if you can find a play that'll do that, move the sticks. They need to get a sense of urgency, too, down to about 10 on the play clock. With 1:46 left to go in the half. Down to 5. Will they snap it in time? 2, 1. They snap it just in time. Scott, again, rolling for his life. Can he get to the sticks? He'll be able to. In fact, tool up across the 45 and, again, make something out of nothing and get the first down and keep the drive alive.
One of the lessons they got to learn on defense over there, if you're going to bring all that heat up the middle, you got to make sure you have security on the perimeter out there. You got to make sure the defensive ends that are responsible for perimeter protection are turning that play back inside.
And then it was first down. Another Bowling Green State University first down at midfield with 1:40 left to go for Scott and the crew. He's got Henderson. He's got Douglas. He's got the weapons out there. The question is, does he have enough time on the plays to make it happen? Khalil Samuels out there is a wide out as well, too, and Roshan Burns from the 50. There's that quick pop and a little out pattern there that we thought they might use more often just to kind of have a ball control offense. And Samuel will make the catch that time. And coverage on the play by Kyle Klein coming up from the secondary, the free safety, 2 solos. Also has an interception. Had 5 interceptions this year, Jeff, including the 2 scrimmages.
Clock continues to run at 1:20. 1 timeout remaining for Beechcroft.
And Scott forced to eat the ball at the 48-yard line. Let's see the sense of urgency and speed now that they have. Will they burn another timeout?
And they do.
Timeout, Beechcroft. That's their 3rd final timeout of the half.
The timeout cupboard is bare now for the Cougars here in the first half with 64 seconds left to go in this contest. Well, Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Friday Night Rivals kicks off next week at Dublin-Sida High School when the Fighting Irish play host to Westerville South right here on the CW Columbus starting at 7 o'clock. South unblemished through 2 contests. Coming to this game, Carl Johnson and Dublin-Sida will always give you a game as well, too. So we go back, some 25 years, I think, Carl and I. So great guy, and Coach Chris doing a great job with Westerville South.
Randy, one of the things that Ohio State will be doing this weekend is celebrating the 20th anniversary of the 2002 National Championship team. Think about that, 20 years ago.
Seems like it was yesterday, doesn't it?
The names like Craig Krenzel, Maurice Claret, Lydell Ross, Chris Gamble, Michael Jenkins.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Ben Hartsock at the tight end position. Was that a special group of kids or what? And, by the way, their coach, that guy named Tressel, pretty good guy, too.
Great sweaters. Great sweaters.
He could coach them up.
I'll tell you what.
And
Mike Doss from up in your neck of the woods now. 3rd down. They need about 8 from the 48. Scott looking for that middle screen. Boy, that was a dangerous pass. Near the sticks, but I'm not sure he has it. It goes to Henderson. Did he get the first down?
Yep, quickly they get to the line of scrimmage. We'll see if they spike the football to
they
stop
can't.
it.
It's a 4th down.
You're right. It is 4th.
They need 1.
Quarterback's going to run the ball. Come on, Aurelius. Take it and go, buddy.
They got 45 and ticking. It's not like they're at field goal range either. So he's going to throw it for 1 yard. Going to throw it back the other way. What a catch.
First down.
And they just got enough there. That was just basically a jump ball, and Henderson won it and probably picked up 2 yards. A long time developing, but they've got the first down at the 40-yard line.
Very fortunate being able to have that ball thrown late again over the middle. But a good catch and a first down. Drive stays alive, Randy.
From the 40, down to 20 ticks left to go, though. They need to take a deep shot here sometime. And speaking of shots, that may do it as Scott's going to take one back at the 46-yard line, and that may be the last play of the first half, depending on how rapidly they can get up. Down to 5, and I think that'll do it for the first half. They get up to the line, but they're not going to snap it in time. We've got zeros on the clock, folks. They did not get that last snap off, and a good job by the Big Walnut defense to bend a little but not break. An exciting first half, a half we didn't expect, Jeff, but Beechcroft in the game. Big Walnut, though, exerting themselves in the second quarter. They lead by 12 at the break by a count of 24-12. The Door Depot halftime show coming up next. I'll have a special guest. I'll talk to Vincent Clarno, the Director of Student Activities for the Columbus City Schools, when you come back. 24-12, Big Walnut, week number 3 of Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College here on the CW Columbus. Offense sets to get Vincent. Welcome back. We're at halftime now, where Big Walnut leads Beechcroft 24-12. Week number 3 of Friday Night Rivals here on the CW Columbus. Great night for high school football, and a great person to have in the booth as our halftime guest. Hold your applause for the one and only Vincent Clarno with the Columbus Public Schools. He is the guru, the Director of Student Activities. Vincent, welcome to the CW.
Thank you so much for having me on the show today. Beautiful night for football, beautiful night for kids and communities here.
And we've just met. We've only known each other for, what, about 20 years or so?
Certainly, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Let's talk about your job, your definition. What do you do when you coordinate the student activities for the Columbus City Schools?
Certainly, yes. So you can probably imagine, for the biggest school district in the state, we need some extra hands on deck. And so we're lucky to be able to have enough schools to have our own city league, right? And every school inside of our league is a part of our school district. district. And so what we do is ultimately act a lot like a commissioner of a league, right? And so when you think of even at the collegiate level, like the Big Ten, a lot of universities under one umbrella. We're a lot of schools under one umbrella here. And so through the leadership of our superintendent, Dr. Dixon, and the wonderful school board, I'm able to funnel down and provide opportunities for kids out there on the athletic space.
What are the biggest challenges you face when you have to monitor so many different schools and so many different sports and activities? It's more than just sports, is it not?
Yes, indeed it is. It is a little bit of everything for Columbus City Schools. And I have to say this one then, right? I got to give a special shout out to my wife because she's the rock in our family. And it pulls me away from our home a lot, but I understand our kids need good people who are out here helping out. And so, but I love it, though. The chance to come out and see kids have an opportunity to be involved in something that they really enjoy is what drives me. And it's what's had me in this profession for over 20 years.
Now, these kids try hard in the Columbus City schools, and so many times, though, they don't have the facilities. And the one thing I've never understood, because I go back 40 years to a City League championship game, why do we not have a corporation or a company or two step forward and improve the athletic infrastructure, if you will? We just have the teachers with their strike, and they're doing a lot for the inside of the buildings. Is there some way, some campaign, something somebody can do to improve the athletic infrastructure for the schools?
That is a great question. And you know what's funny is that we're actually working on that type of energy right now. We got a board who's interested in those types of opportunities, and we're looking for you. So if you're watching tonight, step on up. Columbus City Schools is wanting to connect. But you're absolutely correct. We want our kids to have great facilities, and we want our community to have a great space where they can come out and celebrate their kids when they're participating. So facilities are extremely important in the world of athletics and schools in general, and you hit it spot on. Our teachers are an integral part of what we do, and so we're excited to see some of the next steps here coming our way.
And finally, Scott at quarterback and the Beechcroft Cougars. He's small in stature but big with heart. What are your thoughts about this contest? It was just a couple points heading into halftime.
Yeah, it got away from him a little bit here. A touchdown here, a play there, and then before you know it, you're down a few. But I think if they can get an early score in the third quarter and get right back in this, you need momentum, right? And when the scoreboard is lopsided, it's hard to have momentum. But if you get a play or two and they can get on the board again, I think we'll have a great second half of football here.
When I grow up, I want to be like Vincent Clairno, the one and only guy that we talked Gilbert O'Sullivan music just a day ago, and we were talking
indeed.
70s music trivia. Vincent, thanks for your time.
I appreciate you having me out today. Thank you much.
Vincent Clairno is the coordinator of student activities for the Columbus Public Schools. 24-12 here at halftime. Time now to meet our scholar athletes this week on the CW.
Ohio Education Association is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athletes of the Week. Jaden Douglas is the first male athlete state champion at Beechcroft High School. He's ranked first in Ohio for both the 300 and 400-meter hurdles. Jaden is enrolled in numerous AP classes and has a 3.4 GPA. Grant Colson is a four-year varsity football letterman for Big Walnut High School. He's a math tutor, honor roll student, and carries a 4.4 GPA. Congratulations to these outstanding Ohio Education Association Scholar Athletes.
The Door Depot halftime show rolls on. Big Walnut on top of Beechcroft here at the break, 24-12. Time now to check out the scores of other games here in week number 3 in the CW viewing area. Let's go to the scoreboard right now and see what's going on in other contests throughout Central Ohio in the various leagues, including the OCC and more, and the City League, where Afrocentric on top now early in their contest, 32-0. Actually, that's a final. That's from last night, folks, so they played on Thursday. A lot of City League games did when they play in-league competition, if you will. So Afrocentric getting by the Punchers by a count of 32-0 in that contest last night. First win of the season for either team. B.J. McQueen, the first-year head coach. Briggs on top of Franklin Heights, 14-0 in that tally. Briggs got their first win last week, 39-16 over Whetstone. Canal Winchester on top of Bishop Hartley. Hawks struggling early on as they're 0-2 early in the campaign. Canal Winchester at 1-1. And 10-3 the count in that contest. As we look at scores from elsewhere, Dublin Coughlin over Camp McKinley. Camp McKinley has allowed 72 points in the first 2 weeks. That game now starting the second half, 2013. The Rocks on top in that one. We'll check out some other scores from around the region. We'll tell you that Groveport Madison on top of the Wolves of Worthington Kilbourne by a count of 13-0. It's been a slow start for the Cruisers, but coming on strong in that contest. They're 0-2. Kilbourne 1-1. Groveport Madison won last year's meeting 41-23. And that contest is at the half. And Bloom Carroll and Jonathan Alder, a game that we did last year in the CW. Carroll won last year's meeting 23-3. Jonathan Alder is looking to start 3-0 for the first time since 2020, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. The Bulldogs with the bite there on that one. And Olentangy on top of Lancaster. Slow start for the Golden Gales, 0-2, looking for the first win. They've yet to score. They lost 53-0 to Pick North and 17-0 to Marysville. Lancaster won last season's meeting 34-15, but not in this one. Reynoldsburg and Marysville at 500. Coach Mark Fillmore in his first year with the Raiders looking for their first win. Late in the second quarter right now, the Monarchs on top of the Raiders, 19-14 in that contest. And one final score from throughout the region. In a big one, Pick North and Upper Arlington. Pick North, the team we'll see in Week 9, Upper Arlington in Week 10. And in that contest right now, 12-7 in that game between those two teams here in week number 3. At halftime in our contest up in Sunbury in Delaware County, it's Big Walnut doubling up Beechcroft 24-12. Cougars get the ball to start the second half. Stats and highlights when you come back right here to the CW Columbus. Got it.
He's got plenty.
Okay. So
Be off his right shoulder there, Pat.
We're going to keep you out of it for the beginning of this event. Yeah. Welcome back to the Door Depot halftime report. Week number 3 of the high school football season here in Central Ohio. And at the break, Big Walnut on top of Beechcroft, 24-12 in this contest, although the Cougars putting up a fight in week number 3. Randy Reinhardt alongside Jeff Logan. Jeff, a very entertaining contest. We talked about the fact that we had 374 yards total offense in the first quarter. We backed down some in the second quarter. We saw more of that stingy Eagle defense, but still a lot of offense in the first 24 minutes of play.
You know, I think Beechcroft did a good job of adjusting defensively as well, because only 71 yards of total offense after 374 in that first quarter of the football game. Randy, we thought coming into this game that we would see a dominant Eagle football team take control of Beechcroft. They have hung in. They have done a terrific job so far.
A lot of highlights, especially from the first quarter. Let us go to the videotape, if you will, and check out some of the highlights in this contest. And they ran the Wildcat early on, where Rocky Pentello was the head coach, and his son this time takes it in for the touchdown, and then it's the long pass for Beechcroft.
Yeah, Douglas is able to take this ball all the way to the end zone. As I mentioned to you, the 300-meter hurdle champion in the state of Ohio takes it into the end zone.
And a junior Olympian to boot. And then Nears able to get it off to Sievers, and look at the move there at the 25-yard line, and then the sidelines were all that awaited him, so he takes it in for the touchdown. And then you take a look at that long pass again.
Yeah, Rios Thomas has done a great job on a broken play, and Samuel's able to break off his route, head for the end zone, score for Beechcroft.
Where did Mr. Sievers go? It's a new game. It's better than Where's Waldo. Take a look at this. He's gone. He goes in the pit, and then about 65 yards later, he takes it in for the touchdown in this first half. So 24-12 the tally. And look at the offensive numbers in this contest so far. When you look at it, a lot of total offense, a couple penalties early on, and only one turnover with all that going on in this game.
Yeah, Beechcroft had a number of penalties early in the football game, Randy, that probably hurt them a little bit. This game could have been closer than what it is. I think that at halftime it's going to be very important to see what happens as Beechcroft comes out. They will get the ball to start the second half, and so Beechcroft needs to establish themselves with the same kind of emphasis that they had early in the football game.
Well, two things. Protect the quarterback, and the broken play was big for them in the first 24 minutes. And we are joined by a third man in the broadcast booth. This is a high-security building. How'd you get in here? Pat Samanich, the former head coach at New Albany, is going to fill in for this guy next week when he is hosting the Hall of Fame for Ohio State. Pat, welcome to Friday Night Rivals.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for having me. It's truly an honor to be up here with two Hall of Famers in my book, and we can't thank you enough for all that you do for Central Ohio football and all the players and families.
Did you pay him?
Yeah, not at all. But talk to me a little bit. You were coaching him up back there in the background during that first half. I could see you making some motions there. The adjustments that Big Walnut made, give us from a coaching standpoint what you saw.
Yeah, and Jeff, you hit on it early. It looked like Big Walnut's defense was just kind of sitting back a little bit, whether that was maybe a little bit of lack of confusion from not having the week 2 film, or something just was off a little bit. And as a coach, what you want to do is force the issue. Stop thinking. They started dialing up Coach Page and the staff some run blitzes that really were effective. It kind of slowed things down in the second half.
Meanwhile, if you're Beechcroft, it was the big play and at times the broken play. It's hard to coach the broken play. If you're Humphrey Simmons, what did you tell your team to adjust to things in the third and fourth quarters?
Obviously, you're going to want to be encouraged by the first half. The scoreboard tells a lot. They got here late, got off the bus, got stretched, came out and competed. And that's the message, guys. Just keep competing. Continue to play hard, play smart. It's been very clean overall as the first half. And look at Beechcroft's first touchdown. You can see quarterback looks off to the right, comes back and throws a seed, as Jeff talked about, to the hurling champion of the state of Ohio, and just could flat out go. So I love this composure by the quarterback as he looked off and came back in.
Yeah, you like his skills. He's not just an athlete out there. This is a kid 100%. That can deliver, but he's also reading the defense.
Quick release. He's got a quick release, but his eyes were telling a lot. Made a good decision, didn't force the football, came back to a second read, executed a touchdown. Big play.
And what's it mean for Big Walnut to have so many great leaders that are juniors in the likes of Near, and Sievers at running back?
And that's a great coaching problem right there. Coach Page and the staff loves that. obviously those two juniors, quarterback, running back, they complement each other so well. Jeff was talking a little bit about that mesh problem early on and going a little bit there. Quarterback's got to be responsible for that. You'll see it cleaned up, and I bet you see a lot cleaner the second half here for Big Walnut.
All right, speaking of cleaning, we're cleaning a shirt for you, so next week you can wear the official FNR shirt, if that's okay.
I just got off the golf course. Here we go.
All right, Pat, we'll see you later in this contest and also next week as well, too.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Should be a lot of fun. The second half just around the corner in this one. Big Walnut leading Beechcroft 24-12 at the break. A lot going on in high school football. Keep it here. We do so many different things during the halftime show. We hope you appreciate it, and it's all live here on the CW. Second half around the corner here on Friday Night Rivals.
Yep. In the mesh. Oh. Push, push, push. Where's he come from? That's amazing.
He does a diagonal to the left there, kind of a spin curl there.
All right. The next view I want is from above. I want to get it from the blimp.
Yeah, from the drone. I want to see the guy that.
Yep.
Who pops
from
him
behind?
Can you play it one more time? I want to see that guy comes on the backside.
That's the backside guy is
it
Scholl?
That's Scholl, yeah.
Yeah.
Comes in and knocks him forward.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. One more time, please.
New Albany 42-8 on Ridge. Yeah, I thought so.
Hey, we got more than we wanted. We're happy.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, yeah. Yep. 100%. Oh, I can't eat this cookie in a minute. Never mind.
But I'm going to try. He's going to come up with 6 minutes in the third. I don't know. I announced the kickoff because I thought they were ready, and then the clock changed. Have we done the reset yet or not? Okay. All right. Okay. Back once again at Big Walnut High School at the break. Week number 3. Big Walnut on top of Beechcroft 24-12. And this one, Randy Reinhardt, Jeff Logan, and Pat Samanich has been joining us here at halftime as well, too. We talked about that play by Nate Sievers, and it was hard to believe that he made it through there. And Dean Marini has found yet a different angle, Jeff, of this play. And watch one more time how he comes out of this scrum here in the middle.
Yeah, Javante Scholl right there is able to make contact, but did not grasp him. I mean, you got to get him and you got to bring him down. You just can't lean a shoulder into him. And that's what really ejected him out of that pile more than anything else, and it created the opportunity for Nate Sievers to be able to take it the distance for the score. And you know, and you're in a 24-12 ball game like we are here, you know, a difference like that, that is a defensive breakdown. You were there to make the play, and when you're tackling and you're being aggressive, throwing that shoulder in is just not enough. You got to be fundamental in how you do that.
And the way Sievers runs the ball,
he looks so under control. Even when he's making a big play, it looks like it was preordained to happen that way. Great running backs have that ability to make it look easy. You are one of them, and he's one of them, and he's just a junior in high school.
And I think it's vision as much as anything, just being able to know what's ahead of you. Repetitions in practice help you do that. And if you're being aggressive in practice, and emulate what you can try and do in games, that kid's going to be very comfortable out there. I was really looking forward to seeing him. I was impressed with his numbers. My first chance to see this young man. Very impressed with him so far. I'm trying to figure out with his statistics and playing at this level why he's only a Division II recruit. The only thing I can guess at this point is that maybe from a speed, there's so much that they care about in speed at that position. He looks like a 4.5 to 4.6 guy. That sounds pretty quick. But not when you got guys running 4.3 at the Division level, Division I level at that position. So if he can work on his speed a little bit, I think he's got all the other skills that are necessary.
Well, the other thing is, too, so many schools now are late to commit to somebody, are they not, Jeff? Especially at the D1 level, they're going, okay, what's left at this point? They don't overcommit sometimes, and then they look at what's left and see what's in the cupboard again, and then almost on the second go-round, that's when they go ahead and commit to some of these guys.
Well, that cupboard you're talking about is this thing called the transfer portal.
Yes.
That's the cupboard that they've gone to, and that has really had a dramatic impact on football players at the high school level. Everybody has been late with the exception of those five-star kids that everybody wants. Beyond that, it is really slowed down the process in terms of those commitments.
Couple of minutes left before the start of the second half, and fans here at halftime, it's always so good to see all the students of the Columbus City Schools back in action tonight, including the Beechcroft High School Cougar Marching Band. The CW Columbus and Music Go Round are proud to put the marching band spotlight on these outstanding students here tonight. And not just the marching band, but the Cougar Cadets. I remember covering them 40 years ago, and that's a program that they still have going on.
A lot of pride in that group out there, Randy. A lot of pride, and I want to give them props. They beat the football team here. Their bus got here before the football team. Good job by the band.
And both have performed pretty well tonight. Same could be said for Big Walnut.
I want to see if you've got that move.
I do have that move.
The splits.
Comes after 6 hernias, but I could probably do that. But no, a lot of fun. And, Jeff, I know you're concerned about this, but still, no full band uniforms yet tonight because it's still too warm.
Yeah, now, come on now. We invest all this money in band unis, and Big Walnut at least had half their uniforms on tonight. They came with the lower half, but they're still in T-shirts above. I cannot wait for that very first game where we get all those full band uniforms.
You're the only taxpayer I know that's in every school system in Central Ohio, always harping about that. My high school band, those kids had to wear, they were the Kingsmen, so they had to wear the big, tall hats like the guards at Buckingham Palace and all that, and try to do that, and it was 80 degrees, and the big cloth uniform.
Put your uniform on and come to work.
There you go.
Put your uniform on and come to work.
And in smaller schools, isn't it always neat to see a student athlete who's a member of the football team, and then they're out there marching at halftime
I
as
love
well,
it.
too.
That's one of the things that was really new to me, Randy, when we started working together, some 25 years ago, to go around to some of the communities where we had and have some of those offensive tackles out there playing the alto sax. I mean, it was just really cool to see those guys being part of that. Cheerleaders also, breaking down at halftime and jumping into the band and being part of that.
We've seen some bands down through the years that could barely dot the letter I, and they'd have cheerleaders and football players out there as well, too. All right, as we start the second half, if you're Beechcroft, we talked about, the big broken play, but also the ball control play. That was supposed to be the short passing game. Early on, they were able to do it, and they broke some for big plays. But later in that first half, Big Walnut made adjustments. They basically almost sent the kitchen sink. They had about 7 or 8 guys coming. If you're the Cougars, how do you negate something like that in the second half?
Well, they've got to get the ball out quickly, all right? That's the key to that. And you saw a couple of quick bubble screens in the middle screen that they tried to do in the second quarter of the football game. But the other option is they got to get Aurelia Scott, the quarterback, out on the perimeter where he can have vision downfield. If they're going to blitz up the middle like they're coming, Randy, you got to move the pocket. You got to roll him out, put pressure on that football team on the perimeter, and then that gives him RPOs, that run-pass option.
We saw some real studs defensively in the first half for Big Walnut, too, and Wes Skinner, and how about Ethan Clausen with their hits, too, and Tyon Fountain. As we get ready for the start of the second half of this game, we'll tell you that, once again, as we get ready for this is the Buckeye State Bank kickoff. You can start enjoying the benefits of banking local with Buckeye State Bank. Get started today by visiting joinbsb.com. One injury of note in the first half, that was Morel Cox for Beechcroft going down with a leg injury, so his status uncertain for the second half. Gladden has it teed up. The man from Gladden, very busy in the first half, had 3 touchbacks. He's got it teed up at the 40-yard line. His team up by 12, week number 3. Big Walnut 2-0 on the campaign. Beechcroft 0-1. Second half underway here on the CW Columbus. We will have a return, and it will start from the 3-yard line. Will we have a handoff? Yes, we will. The flow goes to the way. If you can get that speed to the outside, that helps, and they get it up across the 30 to the 35. They needed one block, Jeff, on the far side of the field.
I love it.
They didn't have it, but on the razzle-dazzle, it is Jaden Douglas who winds up with the football, and all in all, it's 32 yards on the return.
Give it up to Coach Simmons for calling the reverse on the kick return. They're setting it up. These kids are juiced to be able to have a play. They opened the game with a gadget play, all right? They snapped the ball to the man in motion, so they're not afraid to come out with something out of the kitchen sink and kind of throw it at Big Walnut. And you know, the thing that's impressed me most about Beechcroft so far in this football game, they have not, I'm not going to jinx them, but they have not turned the ball over.
Oh, you did it. 1st and 10 on his Home Appliance Solutions first down from just past the 35. For Scott and company, this is like the end of the second quarter, and the pass downfield is going to be thrown away. He was sending his wideout, Burns, downfield, but again, Scott running for his life, and this is the same script we saw in the last couple of minutes of quarter number 2.
Yeah, both the defensive ends came free, unblocked from both sides. You can see how quickly 23 and 31 are on top of the quarterback. Not much of an opportunity at all to be able to make anything happen.
Taking inventory is Aurelius Scott after Skinner. Conley come in with the pressure. 2nd down and 10 from the 35-yard line. A gorgeous facility here at Big Walnut. We'll talk to Andy Jados here in this third quarter about this great field they have. Only their second game they've played here in the school that opened up basically the beginning of the calendar year of 2022. Quick pop, that's what they need to do, but the pass in and out of the hands of Henderson. Again, you got to corral that thing before you head upfield. The pass a little high, but Henderson, I think, the Cardinals sin, Jeff, of trying to think about what was next before he caught the ball.
If you're going to slow down that blitz, the only way you can do it is go ahead and pop that ball out quick, get rid of it very quickly, but again, a very dangerous pass thrown high and easily could have been intercepted. Zach Griffith coming up there on the tip drill trying to make that recovery.
Young man who had a birthday back on the 12th. He plays what they call the star position, or the overhang safety, likes fishing, sports, math, and science. And 3rd down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Can the Eagle defense shut them down? Scott trying to buy some time and pushes it downfield, and it's caught on the play. The diagonal move again. Look at this. Inside the 35 to the 30, down to the 28-yard line. You know, he's got a rocket for an arm, but that time that was the push pass to Burns again.
Yeah, Roseanne Burns is a young man that, you know, from a physical standpoint, if you see him there, only has one arm. I just want to point that out to you. And this kid is out there catching footballs with one arm. Look at him coming, makes the catch. Holy cow, this is absolutely awesome. The junior running back and the throw by the quarterback, Aurelius Scott, just terrific to be able to keep that play going.
Roshan makes the catch. His uncle played at Beechcroft, Sir Joe Welch-Smith. So it is 1st down, 37-yard game.
Big Walnut, that's their second one. Be 5 yards.
So there is the sideline infraction. No longer a warning, Jeff. This is the real storm this time.
Yeah, everybody's got a get-back coach over there. They're responsible for keeping people behind that white line. And if the official is moving up and down that sideline, if he sees anybody in that box, it's going to be a flag.
Nothing there that time. They had the 2 backs in the backfield, and Shull trying to find a gap. There was nothing there as big number 52 waiting for him. That is Holden Ballard helping to make the hit on the play. He tried to fake it out with the misdirection there with the 2 backs, and look at this. Yeah. He just cleans it up, and the 6'1", 190-pound junior shuts it down for a loss of about 1 on the play, perhaps 2. Going to move it back to the 25-yard line. They need 7 yards now for the 1st down after they gained 5 with the penalty on 1st. You just don't sense that sink of offense, you know, for Beechcroft here early in the second half. But again, they haven't had to have that to make a big play. So see if they can make something happen again. Watch from the near side. Oh, they'll back off the blitz now. Scott. Composure back there. Guns it, has his man. and the catch is made inside the 15-yard line. Did you watch Scott kind of turn the football over when he got it on the snap?
Yeah.
I mean, he had plenty of time and composure then, and he rifles the ball down to Samuel for the catch.
He's impressive. He's doing a nice job at that quarterback spot. It looked like there may have been a hold there at the end. You can see number 31 being held at the left side of the play, and not a great job there by the defense allowing that play to get outside, and Khalil Samuel able to keep this drive alive.
In the Bath Fitter red zone, gain of 12. Get the football, guys. Either team, somebody fall on it. And finally, it's Scott, and a big loss on the play, back to almost the 27-yard line. A huge, huge mistake that time for the Cougars. It's going to put them back outside the red zone. Both teams have had their moments of self-destruction, more so for the Cougars, especially in quarters 2 and 3. And what was a short scenario and now gets a lot longer with the ball back past the 26-yard line. Not ready for the snap. You never know who made the mistake there, the quarterback or the center. This time, Scott's got it. Looks for an opening, no gap that time. Good job to pinch it. You know, Jeff, you've got the three sides of the triangle waiting defensively. There's a good chance to shut it down. That's what happened that time. Yep. The Eagles had the pressure there to help make the head among them. Big number 23 there again in Wes Skinner. Yeah, Wes Skinner's had a big night out there for this football team. Again, they're missing their one of their top defenders, not able to play tonight in Stover. Garrett Stover not able to play in the game, and it's going to bring up a third and an awfully long way to go for the first down, Randy. Call it just more than 20, 21 to be exact. You got to think it's 4-down territory, too, for Beechcroft at this point, because I don't think you're contemplating a 41-yard field goal. So let's see if he looks at the wideouts. He's got trips to the top and one to the bottom. Straight back for Scott. As is the pressures there, he will roll for his life and get what he can inside the 15. More manageable now as he goes out of bounds at around the 11-yard line, but they still have to get the ball inside the 4 to move the sticks, so a big fourth down awaits the Cougars. Team last year went 7-4, then 3-3 2 years ago, and 7-3 before that. I keep talking about spilling that play to the sidelines. The one problem with that is that this kid does not run east and west. He gets himself going north and south pretty quickly, and he's just so doggone quick. And once again back in the Bath Fitter red zone on a fourth down play. They're going to say he actually stepped out closer to the 15-yard line. So he needs 12 yards now. Rolling, gunning, has a man. He's got the catch. That's Douglas. And Douglas inside the 3 near the 2 will have a first down and goal to go for the Cougars with 8:31 left. Well, when you sell out and you bring the blitzes, you're going to get a lot of man coverage back there. And the man-on-man, the longer this quarterback can stretch the play out, the more the offense is going to have opportunities to come free. And you can see there Nicky Pentello from that strong safety spot able to come closing on the play, but there was separation. And Scott trying to burrow his way. Now let's look for him in that mosh pit, pushing the pile. He does not break the plane. The only thing I will say is I have a fear someday with these mosh pit rugby plays where they don't blow the whistle that somebody's going to get undercut and really have a serious knee injury, and that's when we're going to re-examine something like this. But it used to be in your day, Jeff, when the basketball and football were square, that they went ahead and they would blow the whistle when the forward progress was stopped. But for some reason, I don't understand, in that scenario, they never seem to blow the whistle right away. There's a lot of pushing and shoving of that pile, and there's extra yards gained all the time. They got to be perfect in the red zone here. And not only in the Bath Fitter red zone, they're right up against the shower head here. 3 backs in the backfield. And Scott, did they snap the ball to him? If they did, it was on a delay. Is he in for the touchdown? Yes, he is. I didn't think he had the ball at first. The line seemed to move, and now we have another Ramos Roofing touchdown. For a free estimate on your roof, call or text 761-ROOF and add 6 to the board. Now it's going to be 24-18. Do you go for 1 here? That's quarterback sneak all the way. I think you go ahead and go for 2. This is a football team that wants to take advantage of every score they can. Watch this. This is quarterback sneak the whole way. There's a snap. And what you're doing is you're just pushing the pile from the back. And that's all that was happening. Everybody's trying to make that pile move. It looked like the line moved, though, Jeff, and then the ball was snapped, though. Everybody left, but the center still had the ball. And then finally Scott had already moved forward. Then he got the snap and took it in and just burrowed his way for the touchdown. All right, with 10 seconds remaining on the play clock, they are going to go for 2. I'd go for 1 here just to make it 5, but we'll see what happens. They're going to try to cut it to 4. Gives ground to an 11-yard line, and then Skender throws a sidearm pass. For some reason, when that defense has been condensed, Beechcroft has not been able to handle it at all on the extra point try. So the try for 2 is negated. We stay at 24-18. 24-18 with 7:36 left to go. And now a message from our friends at Toyota.
With a new Toyota, you can practically make summer stand still. From making a splash in a Highlander to fitting in more fun in a Camry or tackling a trailhead in a RAV4 hybrid. Who's a good boy? Enjoy the last of summer in an exciting new Toyota during Toyota's national sales event.
Save big on the best-selling SUV Toyota RAV4, like this electrified RAV4 hybrid with fuel savings over $3,700. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
So it's 24-18 now with 7:36 left to go in the third quarter. A lot of time left for both of these teams as you look at a defense for the Eagles. There's Mr. Stover, and also conversation there with Ethan Clausen as we check out the scoring summary courtesy of Kitchen Saver. 11 plays, 65 yards. Big conversion, Jeff, on fourth down as well, too, as they take it in for the touchdown. And you can transform your kitchen with a free quote at kitchensaver.com.
A couple breakdowns in that drive, but my goodness, Beechcroft able to overcome bad snap, poorly handled by the quarterback, negative play. They were 3rd and 20, Randy, and they were able to keep that drive alive and put it into the end zone. So got to give Beechcroft a lot of credit. Again, late to the dance here tonight, but they have become a great competitor in this football game.
Late to the dance, but it feels like marathon dancing right now. So 24-18. Remember marathon dancing from World War II, Jeff? You go back that far, right? There's the boot, and we'll have a return that starts from the 11-yard line. Finally scooped up there by the Eagles, and up across the 15 to the 20 to the 25, up across the 30. Nice cut back to the inside. The return continues, and look who's got the football. Across midfield, he is going to take it the distance. There's a man that can do it all, and he's showing you why. Right there in Sievers, who goes the distance. Again, Jeff, he takes the play. It looks like it's going to end. At one time, he seemed to lose his balance and takes it the distance for the touchdown. And a quick answer by Big Walnut and make it 30 now to 18.
I can't tell you how many kickoff returns end up going the distance when the balls are mishandled back there, because it screws up the entire timing of the defensive football team, the kick team, being able to come downfield. Great blocking, great vision again. I talked about this kid's vision. He is just terrific in that regard, able to make the play and take it the distance.
Sievers, nearly 90 yards on the return for the touchdown. Talk about a quick strike answer. You just saw it. Snap a little high, Gladden with the PAT. He's got nothing but leg. It's up and good. And if you're Beechcroft, how demoralizing is it? We'll talk about that when we come back as Big Walnut adds to their lead. They're up now. As we look at the clock, it says 7:20 left to go. We'll take a break on the CW Columbus. It's been a fun game.
Okay.
Better than I thought it would be. We're going to be on that camera right there. So I'm going to have you come over here.
Okay.
Turn around. And I'm going to have you step forward one step. I'm going to put that under your shoulder, just like that. Then I'm going to post you up, elbow you a few times.
I'm out of the picture.
Never.
I hope so. Thank you.
Okay. So a rapid answer by the Eagles now. That cushion up to 13 at 31-18 here at Big Walnut High School. And speaking of Big Walnut, I have the biggest walnut of them all. The principal here. We look like twins, don't we? Andy Jados joining us. Congratulations on that great school that you have and that touchdown. You have to be a proud papa right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a great game, a lot of offense, and I love the way we came right back and answered.
Talk about this new facility. When did everything open, the school and the stadium?
So we opened the school in January. We did a winter move, which is a little unusual, but we did it over break. And so we've actually been in the school since January. And then we had the stadium opened up in the spring. we're able to have some lacrosse here, and then really excited. This is just our second varsity football game that we've had in the stadium.
A lot of excitement in this contest. Inspire and guide. That's a big phrase for you folks here at Big Walnut, is it not?
It absolutely. I believe it's been our motto for at least about 10 years, and I think our staff really have done a great job with that throughout K through 12.
As we look at the kickoff now, and Beechcroft's going to scoop it up at around the 19-yard line, get the return up across the 25, 30, up to around the 32-yard line. Can you talk about the growth of everything here in Sunbury? I mean, I remember a few years ago when we came here, and there were not that many people here. This community has just grown with exponents, has it not?
Absolutely. You just drive down Route 3, and you see houses everywhere. And as a high school, we're growing anywhere from 50 to 70 students every year. And then obviously our district even more than that. So we're continuing to grow, and we love it, and we're still able to keep our community feel.
I've continued to grow with you. Westerville, Pickerington, Hilliard, and you're up here now. And I remember a long time ago, as we watch this first down play, we'll finish the thought right after this. Another Home Appliance Solutions first down as we're at the 7:15 mark as the Cougars with Scott and company trying to find an answer here, down now by 13 again. Again, redirecting traffic. Play clock down to 15. He's got plenty of time as they try to shorten this game. Again, great at rolling away from the pressure. Tough pass to make. Can he do that? And what a catch is made on the play of flag as well, too. So we may have some pass interference, but a catch is made. Well, I go back to, when was it? Ed Kalo's second year, and you were part of that basketball team, and I covered you then. How many years was that ago?
Just a few.
Oh, stop it. Come on.
But it was, it would have been 88, 89.
Okay.
So do the quick math on that, 33, 34 years ago.
And you were a force inside.
I like that. We'll go with that, a force inside.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. Eddie, thank you for everything you've done, not only for this community, but everybody else. You're an excellent leader, a man that everybody looks out to and looks up to in more ways than one. But thanks for your leadership, and you have to be a proud papa right now. Thanks for being a great host, and tell Brian Shelton and everybody thanks for putting us at the best seat of the house as well, too.
I will, absolutely. Thank you for being here.
My twin, Andy Jados, the principal here at Big Walnut. And Jeff, we had the flag down on the play as well, too.
Yeah, Randy, pass interference, but still, Roseanne Burns able to make that catch out there. There was pressure right there, as I mentioned to you. One arm, and this kid is out there competing at a high level. Great to see him competing out there and exceeding anybody's expectations, except his own probably.
You see a guy like Roseanne Burns, and immediately you think of Jim Abbott, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you think of somebody like that, and the fact that he even threw a no-hitter against my beloved Tribe back then, too. So just guys that have as much determination as they have skill. Quick pop, and what an extension, but tell you what, Samuel paid the price. They're going to call that a catch. Khalil made the catch and then got drilled right in the front at the 48-yard line. A lot of punishment for 3 yards.
May want to have a conversation with your quarterback about being hung out to dry on the sidelines. Come on.
And it's going to sound like this.
Yeah, what a
don't throw it before you good.
That's right there. Terrific catch. You only need 1 foot in bounds there and able to make the play.
Our thanks to Andy Jados for being a great host, the guy that has done so much down through the years. Great administrator, too, and just great people skills. And if he had that frame when he was playing at Westerville South, they would have won even more games, too. I'm telling you what, this guy's chiseled. Big play here. It's now 2nd down and 7. And they go long this time. He's got time, so he throws it up for grabs, and it's going to go out of bounds. And they're going to throw the flag now. You got to watch that. If there's incidental contact, you're normally not going to have that flag thrown, so you probably have to look at that one more time.
Yeah, they're not going to review it, obviously, Randy.
We are, though.
That ball was thrown out of bounds. Now, we don't have uncatchables in high school football, so you can't sit there and say that ball thrown out of bounds is an uncatchable situation. But incidental contact, there was hands going both sides, pushing and shoving. I don't personally think that Dancer was guilty.
Pass interference, defense number 2. 15-yard penalty. Good first down.
It was number 1 that was there, but I thought he did a good job. He turned his head back to the football, and a big break for Beechcroft. They had mismarked the penalty. They had the ball set down where.
Here's the way I understand it. If the defender and the receiver are both going after the ball and their feet get tangled or a hand is put on a receiver to get balance or gauge distance, it's not pass interference as long as you don't turn, pull, or twist the receiver. But in theory, again, you've mentioned there's no such thing as an uncatchable ball in high school football. Class is over. 1st and 10 from the 37 with another Home Appliance Solutions first down for Scott and company. Looking for another answer. That faked me out on the spin move, and he pushes the ball to Henderson, who's got the first down and more inside the 20. And again, at times he passes the ball, at times he shot puts the ball.
Yeah. Randy, just his ability to extend plays is very impressive, but the guy that's really done a good job tonight is Deshaun Henderson out of the backfield, making himself available to his quarterback, coming back to the football. Look at the athleticism of Aurelius Scott, able to deliver the ball downfield. I thought that the Golden Eagles had done a pretty good job of possessing or keeping pressure. There's his numbers tonight, 14 out of 18 throwing for 250 yards, or 215 yards and 2 scores. Coming into tonight's ball game, he'd only had played one game, and he was 10 of 19.
Pushed out, and probably a good thing that it's not caught that time by Roshan Burns, because there was double coverage there on the play, so it'll set up a 2nd down and 10 scenario now, as we're once again inside the red zone, and that would form your bathroom in one day. Get started at bathfitter.com. They'll do it one day. I'm going to wait. I'll be back tomorrow night, see if it's done. 2nd down and 10 now. What do you look for right now if you're Beechcroft? It's almost hard to get a sense. It's almost like once the play starts, then Scott can see something develop and builds it from there. You can call just about anything, but what happens sometimes can be totally different.
Yeah, they're mixing defenses a little bit here. You're coming with a blitz every now and then, but one of the things they're trying to do is contain the quarterback on the inside. Watch the defensive ends trying to put pressure.
Oh, look at the adjustment of the football, and the catch is made for the touchdown. The entire time, Jaden Douglas looked at the ball, but wait, there's a flag at the 22-yard line. So we'll see if we're coming back here.
Man, that was a terrific
and we are coming back. It's holding.
Holding going to be against Beechcroft. Maybe that makes up for the interference call, but there's the hold that's going against the Cougars. But my goodness, what a job by Aurelius Scott, able to hook up with Jaden Douglas. Watch from the end zone here, behind the downfield. You're going to watch him adjust to the football, high point it. Pentello, Nicky Pentello over there on the coverage. Looked like he was in pretty good position. Bottom of your screen, you're going to see it up here, right here. And again, ball thrown up and high pointing the ball was Jaden Douglas.
You always talk about putting your head on a swivel. That time it went about 350 out of 360 degrees there.
Terrific job, but again, all for naught. They bring it back. 2nd down, about 22.
With 5:32 left to go. And again, you got to think it's 4-down territory for the Cougars. Pressure from the outside, so Scott will step up, throw downfield, and overthrow the receiver this time. Was that the same play?
Pretty much. I mean, your quarterback is extending the play, and again, it's such a deep threat as Jaden Douglas out there and trying to come up with the football. Randy, the Big Walnut Golden Eagles have not had an offensive play here in the second half. They had the kickoff return for a touchdown, and that's the only time, if I'm not mistaken, that the offense has been on the field.
Yet they actually widened their cushion by 1 point from 12 to 13 at 31-18. Big play here on 3rd down now for the Cougars with the ball resting back at the 28-yard line. Great crowd here tonight, especially in the home side for Big Walnut, as you can still smell the carpet is new here, if you will. Not only their second home game, first one came in week 1. 3rd down, Scott looking, going downfield. Great adjustment to the football. Was the contact too early? This time they're going to say no, and the pass incomplete coverage by Mike Conrad.
They play 5 defensive backs in this defense, and Mike Conrad, number 8, 5'9", 170-pound senior, on the coverage there. Good coverage, really tight. Was there contact before the ball got there? You can see right there, I thought his timing was pretty decent.
I'm going to say that maybe I thought that was pass interference on that play. Take a look at the contact again. It looked like it just preceded the arrival of the ball, and that was not incidental either. So they dodge a bullet. It's 4th down. You need a large play right now. Good for about 23 if you're the Cougars. Let's see if the Eagles defense can stand the test. And I really think this is big because I think the Cougars should start to feel a little of that tiredness playing both ways with that short roster, and that time they're stopped at the 32-yard line, and Skinner and company helped to make the hit. Great job. And this is where, Jeff, I really think that Big Walnut can wear down Beechcroft here late in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, the offense has been out there obviously a long time, Randy. They've compiled a lot of yards, able to come up with no scores that are able to, on this drive, to be able to come up with anything. And after scoring the touchdown on the first drive, they gave up the kick return, and this will be the first time that the offense, at 5:13 in the 3rd quarter, for the Golden Eagles will be on the field.
But now, Jeff, that Beechcroft offense becomes the same Beechcroft defense as those guys don't leave the field. They'll hand it off to Sievers, and this is what happens in a situation like this. You're tired on defense. You have to make the adjustment, and this is what I thought could happen. As Sievers is going to take it the distance. That is a statement run of about 70 yards right there for the touchdown with 5:01 left to go. And now you can start to warm up that truck perhaps a little bit, Jeff.
Yeah.
Add 6 more, it's 37-18.
Yeah, Randy, you couldn't have been more spot on in the fact that the gas tank is empty over there right now with the number of players they have going both ways and that offense out there that long. And all of a sudden you come back with that big push by the offensive line, and Sievers able to take it into the end zone. Coming into tonight's game, 7 touchdowns. I mentioned to you, he had a total of 38 touchdowns a year ago. This kid is going to light up the scoreboard.
And in fact, he's also caught a touchdown pass tonight, too. Gladden out again. Cam for the extra point to make it 38. This guy is just so precise and so automatic. 38-18 the tally now with 5:01 left to go. Big, quick strike by Big Walnut to widen that cushion out to 3 scores now with just over 5 minutes left to go.
Makes you wonder if Beechcroft should have taken a timeout there on that change of possession.
Just get a breath.
Given their circumstance and their situation, the way that their offense had been out there and working as hard as they were, maybe just take a timeout to catch your breath. Would have been again, easy to look in the rearview mirror at this stage, but great execution by the Golden Eagles.
And just a reminder, it's the biggest plays, the biggest schools, the best high school football. You get to see it first, thanks to First Scores on Fox 28, sponsored by Spectrum. Catch it tonight at 10:45, only on Fox 28. First Scores coming up, in just about an hour and 20 minutes or so on Fox 28. We'll be done by then, won't we?
I think so.
Okay. If it's like the first quarter, the answer would be no.
That was a
Once
long
again,
first
your
quarter.
kitchen saver scoring summary. One play does it. Sievers takes it the distance, and we had a whistle before we started. So that kick has been negated. It's a procedural call. And the young man came out there to get the kicking tee, and they said, no, come back off the field, young man. We're going to need it again.
Well, they chose to squib kick that thing, just kind of bunt it downfield, and the kicker slowed up because he was just going to hit a little chip shot there, and the kick team was ahead of the ball being kicked off. Don't see that very often.
DeJuan Hammonds, the referee, is just going to stay back inside the 10. That's really a responsibility of the other members of the crew. So he will stay back inside the 5 now and get ready for the return. And now Beechcroft's going to pinch up a little bit with their return guys to around the 15-yard line. And Gladden has it teed up now from the 35. Well, Scott is one guy that, despite the fact that he's tired, he wasn't playing on that one play on defense. So maybe that is the guy that's going to have to be your elixir and your tonic right now if you're the Cougars. And again, the hopper. And advantage for Beechcroft, able to scoop it right on the 30-yard line, and the return going to get up to around the 43. The ball's free at the end of the play, but I think they're going to mark it down before the play saw the ball pop out there. On the return that time was Jameer Radford. So a return of about 13 yards, and now Beechcroft has it back down by 20 at 38-18. We'll see what happens right now for Beechcroft. They've been able to show the big play and move the ball. And again, Jeff, it has been the pass play that they've used to kind of control the clock when they've been able to down the field.
Many of those pass plays, too, Randy, coming on extensions by quarterback Aurelius Scott as things have broken down on defense, where he's had to make those plays. And he's an RPO kind of guy. That kind of fits him perfectly in terms of what he wants to do to a defense.
1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Under 5 left to go. Quarter number 3. This Home Appliance Solutions first down. And that time, no time at all. Skinner's back there. He's got company. This guy is everything that Coach Page and Coach Ross had talked about. Jason Ross, who was the D coordinator at Johnstown in the past and former head coach at Mount Gilead, rave about Wes Skinner. And from the outside, you can try to block him, but he's just so strong and very, very good with his hands. You talk about footwork sometimes. This guy's got the hands to match his feet.
Just a really good job bringing pressure from both of the ends, and that seems to be the choice of this half where they want to bring the pressure from the outside and keep that quarterback in the pocket. Don't let him get in the perimeter where he's been able to hurt the defense.
This is where the offensive line weary for the Cougars because they're also the defensive line has to try to find a way to get some time for Scott to throw the ball. Skinner's going to get him from the backside again. Actually, he was behind the play, grabbed the jersey, and knocked him down at the 35-yard line. This guy is a one-man wrecking crew right now.
That's exciting to be able to play defense like that. Again, the good job there was turning that play back to the inside, and then he was able to finish the job. Going to watch here as Skinner continues to roll back inside, and a little bit of a surprise there. The quarterback's still there, able to make the play.
10 years of playing football, a young man who likes wood tech, 3 solos, 1 assist, always plays to the strong side, and has probably equaled those stats at least in this third quarter alone as we're down to 3:23 and ticking. Third down and long, about 18. Scott gets away. Maybe had a hold. Also, I thought we had a receiver leave early, and the pass underneath is complete. Down to the 44 to the 43-yard line, and that's enough for the first down. Pass play completed to Douglas, and he's not getting up right away.
A little slow getting up there, and again, probably more exhaustion than anything else. And the thing that's amazing about this Beechcroft football team is, it looks like they're going to just pack it in and be exhausted. They come in and they make big plays on third down to be able to keep drives alive. A lot of it due to the fact that this kid right here, number 2, Aurelia Scott, has a unique ability to be able to keep plays open and keep plays going.
In this century in City League North, they're 125-18. Overall, they're 171-62 in this century. He's down, he's up again. He's on the sidelines for now. From the 45. Quick pop. That's Samuel. Nice move to spin to the outside and get about 8 yards on the play. And just like you mentioned, just when you think the gas tank is empty, they go to an electric car instead and pick up about 8 on the play, and they keep things going now with 2:18 left to go. Second down, they're going to call it maybe almost closer to 9. And Big Walnut's going to take a timeout to regroup on defense.
Not
Jeff.
a bad idea, Randy. They were gassed out there as well. And again, situation of getting the ball out quickly. Coach Samanich, who has been with us all throughout the day, joined us at the halftime. Coach, you were talking a little bit about the fact that this kid, quarterback-wise, gets the ball out quickly, and there's another good example of that right there.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with how heady he is. He's able to feel a lot of pressure, obviously, coming around, and just to be able to stand in and get rid of the ball quick, it really speaks a lot to his competitive spirit as well.
And think of the challenges of coaching a football team with only 33 men on your roster. Now, that's okay if you're playing against another team that only has 33 on their roster, but what a challenge.
Jeff, you hit it right on the head. It was just a matter of time, based on numbers and the physicality that Big Walnut plays with, that it's just going to happen. Unfortunately, because of the lack of numbers right now for Beechcroft, but I love how they're all 33 are competing. Guys on the sideline are in it. You've talked about just like when you think they're almost out of it. Scott steps up, evades some pressure, gets a quick release, gets the ball out, and big things happen.
Just had a stretching scenario for Ethan Clausen. I don't know if he was borderline cramping or not, but went ahead and stretched him out. One final question, Pat. Were there scenarios in the past where you called a defensive timeout to go ahead and let your team rest on defense? We talked about Beechcroft maybe taking one. That time we saw Big Walnut take one here.
And that was a big momentum swing, and obviously I try to gauge momentum a lot, and that was just a huge momentum let down a little bit there, and so a timeout would have been a good idea.
Second down and 1. And Scott looking for the 1. His guy reaches the football out again.
Use the other hand for crying out loud.
He's trying to stretch as much as he can. That's where you got to be careful with this kid, letting him out the back door. And you've got to have somebody that's staying at home on that back side. And you can see the protection inside. Got caught and fortunately able to have somebody come up and run him out of bounds. But you got to be very, very careful leaving that back door open.
But when you look at this Big Walnut defense, they have so many heroes, guys. I mean, granted, it's been Conklin for a long phase, but also you saw periods of time early on where Tyann Fountain made plays, Ethan Clausen, also Nicky Pentello. I mean, they have the talent on defense, and they have the playmakers on offense. So this is a team that when they put it all together, you can see why they're such a force. There's the quick pop. That is going to be a backward pass. That'll be running yardage. It'll be negative yardage because there's nothing here. A great job to get out there to the corner first and make the hit on the play. And that was Trey Legg, I think, who made the hit number 42.
Makes you wonder how good this defense really will be as they go on if they get Garrett Stover back too. I mean, this is a kid that's not playing tonight, shoulder injury, and we saw him down there in a sling, and hopefully he'll be able to get himself back and be able to compete here in his junior year.
So, a loss of a few on the play. Down to 90 ticks left to go. The other thing, guys, is because of the pace of this game, it seems like we've had enough plays already through 3 quarters to last for about a game and a half because of the momentum and the tempo changes in this game. So I think there's a lot that these kids are going through here tonight, and the pressure from Skinner and company, but Scott eludes it, lobs it downfield, looks for his man along the sidelines. He makes the catch, but I think he's out of bounds on the play. Samuel made the catch, stayed with the football, coverage on the play by Teddy Dancer, but it's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, Dancer doing a really good job of staying alive on a play that, again, the longer it goes, and there you see the Stover young man with the sling on that left shoulder, hopefully get him back for the balance of the football season, a Division I offer from The Ohio State University, and a number of other Division I programs. I mentioned to you, if you just joined us, related to Cade Stover, a cousin of his who is on the Ohio State football team.
3rd down. They still need 13, and you've got to think again it's 4-down territory. At times, though, at the start of the play, Scott looks like he's just kind of waiting for something to happen. You know, he's very methodical and slow at the start of the play. Just kind of takes a step back. Now maneuvers to his right, sees an opening, gets what he can, aims for the sticks. That's where he could have reached the ball out. I'm not sure, as he heads to the fence there, how close he got to the sticks with 1:08 left to go. If he didn't get there, it's going to be 4th down and short. We'll see where they mark it.
Those defensive ends like Wes Skinner have been doing such a good job of pinching, and you can see Skinner got run upfield that time. It creates an opening in that back door, and once again, Aurelia Scott able to make things go.
They're going to give him the 1st down as the ball's touching the 20-yard line. We are entering the Bathfitter Red Zone. Transform your bathroom in one day. Get started at bathfitter.com. From the 20 for Coach Simmons and company. I came down to the contest early. I said, where's that Coach Simmons? He goes, right here. I said, I know, but where's that Coach Simmons I saw earlier in the week? And then he put on the fiery grin and the smile, was ready to go. But once you look at everything out here, you look at this facility, it is awe-inspiring.
Second charge timeout of the half.
So the Cougars take a timeout with 1:08 left to go.
19 carries tonight for quarterback Aurelia Scott. Randy, statistically only 40 yards and 1 touchdown, but you got to count those negative yards where he's been sacked against that. But 19 carries by him at the quarterback spot.
Now, initially, our referee, Dwan Hammond, said their second timeout, but that was only their first, so each team has 2 remaining. And whenever there's a chance right now, Jeff, it looks like each team is having at least one guy getting a little conditioning or stretching of the legs to prevent cramping. Before it was Clausen. I can't tell who it is this time if they're working on him as well. But, you know, we touched on this, and Pat, we've got Jeff's insight in the past, too. When it comes to warm weather, what was your game plan for the guys to prevent them from cramping? Was it bananas, or what did you do?
I mean, the hydration starts all through the week, and we talked about it, and plus nutrition. You know, it's come a long way with the education that we do with our athletes for nutrition when it comes to clean eating and what we're putting into our bodies. But the actual hydration is all throughout the week. And then on game day, you're going to see guys carrying gallon jugs all throughout school, making sure they're filled up, and coaches are checking to make sure they're going through them.
I've got my water and Gatorade going. Am I okay so far tonight?
Give me more water, 1 Gatorade, the rest water.
All right. We'll see about that. I like the other mix, to be honest with you. So, 1st down and 10 for the 20. Wow, my goodness. Yeah, I'd say he looks okay. Clausen clawed him.
He brought the house.
Oh, there you go.
See his celebration down there. He is a beast.
That hurt my jaw from here.
Yeah, he's had to play in the shadow of Stover, I mentioned before, but he is an excellent football player and should be playing this game. He's a senior at the next level, but watch the closing speed and the technique. From a standpoint of fundamental, this is perfect.
That's a wrestling move.
Yeah, you're right. It is a wrestling move.
I don't mean wrestling, I mean wrestling. 2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line. No gain on the play. Is it Douglas time? Or is it Scott inventing something? Looking, buying time. In the corner of the end zone. Was he inbounds? Did he have the foot in? Touchdown is the call. It's another Ramos Roofing touchdown, and the catch is made in the corner by guess who? Roshan Burns, who had the catch, had 1 foot in bounds at least, and that is a tough play. And take a look at that, too, Jeff. You mentioned it. Try to make that play with one hand in the corner of the end zone. And look at Scott, too, looking. This is about his tertiary read here, not even a second. And look at that.
And how remarkable is that, guys? I mean, that is just terrific. Forget about the one-arm thing. Just getting himself open, making himself available to the quarterback, and then to be able to do it with the limited capacity that he has physically.
Going for 2. I think if he runs, he has a better chance always, and that is why on the 2-point conversion. I think he's learned something there because he had that opportunity earlier, didn't take it. This time he finds the gap because you're looking at 3 yards. You're not looking at trying to rewrite the record book. And he gets the 2-point conversion. And now we've had, off the top of my head, 64 points scored in this game, and it's 38-26. What did I say? First one to 40 wins, right?
54, 10-yard penalty from the spot.
And it doesn't count. We have a holding penalty, and we're going to do it again. Wow. So now
they're going to kick.
You go for the single point instead of 2 because you're so far away.
You're going for 2. You're going for 2. This offense, come on now, you're not going to kick it, are you? Oh, my goodness.
That is a long extra point.
That is a long
about
extra
32
point.
yards for Henderson.
I'd rather see this exciting offense go ahead and try and operate where they've got more room in that end zone. But coaches are deciding to go for the 1 point.
Oh, boy. Good. Look out.
Oh.
That hurt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go for 2 is a better idea.
Yep, I thought so.
So, once again, what have they missed? 3 2-point conversions? That would make it a one-score game. Right? It would be 38-30. Instead, it's 38-24. But, again, they find an answer as Burns makes the catch in the corner of the end zone there for the touchdown and cut it to 38-24. A lot of people wondered if they had the gas in the tank to even start this game, Jeff, because the bus got here a little late when it comes to gas in the tank. And that man said, we're going to show up, we're going to take every play and give everything we have on every play. And there's your scoring summary, courtesy of Kitchen Savers. They take it about 4.5 minutes and go nearly 60 yards in 10 plays and cut it to 2 touchdowns. So you got to be impressed by their moxie to hang in this. And I tell you what, even by the same vein, if Big Walnut has performed to a different level at times, I think they have so many individual stars on either team. I think both of these teams are loaded and will do well in the OCC and the City League respectively.
Again, the number of offensive plays that we have seen from Big Walnut tonight here in the third quarter, just a couple. I mean, it's just quick scores. They had the opening kickoff there, or the kickoff after the score. They were able to take it right back for a touchdown. Came back on the very first possession with 5:13 remaining in the third quarter. 1-play drive, took it into the end zone.
Last week at this time, Jeff, I was in bed. We made it home from Hilliard that rapidly, and here we still have the fourth quarter to go. A lot of life left in this one. It's going to be scooped up at the 5-yard line. Guess who? Sievers. The nose for the opening. The speed, the acceleration, and again, some guys have speed, some guys have power. He's that mix. He's that glider that you can see out there. And Nate just does a great job of finding the gap and getting upfield and setting up a nice little potential here for a shorter drive with 13 ticks left to go here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, Randy, you heard me talk about vision, and that's what this kid's looking for right now is not to do something crazy, but you just find that little seam, find that little crease, and be able to get it north and south.
1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Fournier and company. Jake's been a lonely guy on that bench there. No rest for the weary. Across midfield. There's the first down. That'll stop the clock when they move the chains. I think he's got enough. Yep, they're going to mark it at the 45-yard line and move the sticks with 6 seconds left to go in quarter number 3. And we'll crank it up again here in just a second. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. A lot of excitement in this game. Don't go anywhere. 64 points on the board to make that 62 as we took the 2-point conversion off. But still 12 minutes left to go in this one. 38-24. The Cougars with an answer. But Big Walnut is driving. It's week number 3 of Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Friday Night Rivals presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus. Tribe has scored 1 run in 3 games now.
Still playing baseball?
Stop it. Morris started tonight. Not Plesac. There they are, the Big Walnut Golden Eagle Marching Band on display, serenading fans earlier tonight at halftime. These students did a fantastic job representing Big Walnut High School, and it is our honor to put the Music Go Round Marching Band spotlight on them right now. And Jeff, they wore the marching band pants.
Looking good. Half good.
Well, second half underway. On a first down and 10 now. From the 45. Guess who?
Not
Look
again.
at this.
Not again.
To the outside. The stiff arm. He'll garner another 3 yards after that. He didn't make the contact he wanted with a stiff arm, but still an incredible run.
He is remarkable. Got the ability to be able to break plays. And you talk about impact player. What a job Nate Sievers has been tonight for this football team.
Gain of 25 on the play down to the 20-yard line. We'll have to get the total rushing yards for Seaver here in just a second here. As he's got 197 yards, 3 more, and he's done it right now. He's over 200 yards and over 210 yards now as he gets the ball inside the 10-yard line down to the 8.
Take into account his total offense. He's got receiving yards, and he's got the kick return for a touchdown. So Jake will give us some total yards. Give me some total offense.
6,000.
On the nose, 300. Over 300.
Over 300.
Holy smokes.
Goes any higher, I'd sell. It's like you on a night, right?
Yeah, I like it. Reincarnation.
We are in the Bathfitter Red Zone. Transform your bathroom in one day. Bathfitter.com. And we've got the Hankies on the play. We'll sort this out with 11:10 left to go in regulation. Mr. Hammond's going to come our way methodically and say something when he hits that little button on his microphone.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense, number 54. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, second down.
Again, Beechcroft, 33 players, just wearing down here in the second half. But still, Scott and company try to keep them in the contest. And Sievers, my goodness, what a game he has had. And Conklin and Skinner on defense. And Sievers will take it in for yet another touchdown. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown. For a free estimate on your roof, call or text 761-ROOF and area code 614. And count it. It is now 44-24.
Well, anytime you get plays like that where you get movement at the offensive line, that line of scrimmage, you got to give credit to those big boys up front. And Tom Ross, the center. You see him leading the play and a little push in the back there at the end of the play as Tom Ross went down. But I'll tell you what, that offensive line doing a great job protecting quarterback Jake Neer and creating opportunities for Nate Sievers to be able to run the football.
So what, he's got 4 touchdowns, I think, tonight. He's got 10 on the season, plus those 10 are rushing, and then 1 on that return as well, too. And Gladden continues to boot. He makes it 45-24 with 11:09 left to go. And despite all this, there's still plenty of time left. And 3 touchdowns is the margin right now. And still, Beechcroft will get it back, hoping for an answer in this one. Next week, Jeff, you'll be gone. Dublin Scioto will take on Westerville South. And, of course, Pickerington North playing Upper Arlington tonight. We'll have those teams in week 9 and 10 pick North against New Albany. New Albany, just out of curiosity, Pat Sammett, you kind of have your pulse on things in the land of the other Eagles, if you will.
Yes, sir.
How do things look for New Albany this year?
I've been really impressed with how Brian Finn, it's his first year as a head coach. He's been there for over 20 years as a coach. Just keeps the system rolling. The kids are playing their hearts out. Really proud of the defense right now, playing just absolutely tenacious. Week 1 against Marysville was a 35-0 shutout. From there, the kids have just responded with confidence, and the offense is feeding off of it.
I believe that's our 10th scoring summary of the night with 11 minutes left to go. And scooped up officially at the 3-yard line after the bobble on the play. And look at the gap right up the middle. The big seam tonight on both teams has been, Jeff, not on the sidelines, but up the middle when it comes to kick returns. It's a nice one. That one going about 27 yards on the play for Tyrell Russell. So a good return, decent field position. 11 minutes left to go. We'll take a look at this one more time. Go ahead, Pat. You tell me about this little return here.
Well, as you can see, obviously he's going to try and set up his blocks. They had a return working there to the left. I liked how he attacked it vertically to kind of bring the defenders from Big Walnut to him before he put his foot in the ground and tried to attack the left side.
Jeff, when you look at a guy like Sievers at running back, just out of curiosity, does he remind you of anybody?
Yeah, it's the guy that I kind of go back to. What was our running back from Upper Arlington last year?
Carson Greasock.
Yeah,
who's still running, by the way.
He's a little bit like Greasock in terms of his power. I think that's probably the first guy that comes to mind.
Skinner going after Scott, directing traffic, trying to throw it downfield and throws it away near midfield. Greasock had the all-time performance. Although if you start adding up the yards of Nate Sievers in this contest, he could be approaching that 382-yard mark that's Upper Arlington's Mr. Greasock had last year. In fact, Jake has got the calculator out using exponents to figure out the total offense, including kick returns and rushing yards. And, of course, he had a receiving touchdown, too, in this contest.
Yeah. Unofficially, we've got Pickerington North winning the football game tonight against Upper Arlington 18-13.
Is that a final?
It looks like a final.
Okay.
That is correct. Dublin Kaufman a winner over Canton McKinley.
So we'll have them on next week when they take on Westerville South. Excuse me, Kaufman's on 2 weeks. It's Saturday next week. Quick pop, the man is wide open. That is Douglas looking for some blocks and trying to maneuver. Gives ground. Look at that little dancing move there. Kind of diced and nearly got the break, but he's brought down at the 48-yard line. So did everything he could on that play. Big gainer. 10:41 left to go there across midfield, and another Beechcroft Cougar first down.
So Sievers tonight, an 89-yard kickoff return as you look at this pass and catch. And again, what an athletic play this is coming across the middle. Jaden Douglas nearly taking it for a score. 12 carries for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 receptions for 34 yards and a TD. 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. How about that for a night?
It's about 340 yards combined, factor in the kickoff return. 1st and 10 now for the Cougars. They want to make a statement from inside the 48. Scott's going to dump it in the flat, has his man, that's Henderson, and undercut. Did he stay on his feet? No, he did not. They're going to say he was knocked down by Teddy Dancer, coming up from the secondary, 6'1", 185, and a senior, so a short gain on the play to around the 45. You remember your best game ever?
Oh, man.
High school, college, pee-wee?
The worst part about it is, and Coach will tell you this as well, the only games you really remember are the losses.
Right.
And it
what
sucks.
happened wrong, yeah.
It shouldn't be that way.
100%.
But
100%.
But, the victories and the big scores and everything else, those just kind of all blend together. The ones that sting, the ones that remember forever are the losses. In high school, we lost 1 game in 3 years.
Coming around, it's a direct snap to the guy going from top to bottom on your screen, cutting it inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. And I don't know if Burns is going to get up right away. Roshan struggling to get to his feet. You wonder if he's got a cramping situation going on right now. I think that might indeed be the case, as he's still down on the turf with 9:23 left to go.
I think got the wind knocked out of him. He is just totally gassed, and you can certainly understand that these guys are in terrific condition. But to be asked to play the length of this game the way that it has been, there you can see the run at the end, and guys are just gassed.
And just a reminder, it's being billed. I don't know if you know about this, Jeff. It's one of the biggest games in college football. Notre Dame versus Ohio State. And the only way they get ready for a matchup of seismic proportions is with the Football Fever on ABC6. Join Clay Hall and a roster of Buckeye Brain Trust for the best pregame tradition. The Football Fever tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. on ABC6. Well, big game. How should I react? A guy that was raised in South Bend and lives in Columbus and did play-by-play on the Big Ten Network for Ohio State for a number of years. I'm kind of torn here, although I know my allegiance should be to Ohio State.
Yeah, I know what you'll do.
Okay.
You'll jump on who's ever bandwagon won.
That's right.
Right?
I'll root for Indiana right now. But with that being said, how do you view that contest?
Well, Coach and I were talking at halftime, and a 17.5-point favorite in a game against a number 2 team and a number 5 team is unheard of. I mean, that is, you say that's lack of respect. I don't think that has anything to do with it. What I think has happened is teams like Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia are so elite in terms of what they are. Ohio State would be a 17.5 point favorite against anybody in the country with the exception of Alabama or Georgia.
Long pass downfield near the goal line. Everybody's out of bounds, so it's not going to matter. The pass is going to fall incomplete, and then it was 4th down, intended on the play for Samuel. Will do it again. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I just honestly believe that there's an elite group of teams in the country right now, and that's Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia. So, I don't think that's a negative against Notre Dame. That explains the 17.5 points.
Are you convinced the Ohio State defense is up to the elite level?
I don't know how anybody could be convinced if they've yet to play a game with with the new staff.
Right.
Same characters, but different staff, different schemes. So, if I made a $2 million investment, I would expect it to play pretty well.
All right. 4th down and 4. I came in at 1.5, so we're okay here. Scott rolling, gunning on the out pattern, has his man. Nice job by
this team. Will not quit.
Samuel.
How about that? Yep. This team does not quit.
Nor does the game.
I mean,
it keeps going.
Honest to goodness. I mean, Beechcroft isn't going to win this football game, obviously, but my goodness, the 3rd down conversions that they've had, the guttiness of this team is just a testament to Humphrey Simmons and his leadership.
And 4th down conversions, too, yeah.
Yeah, and Aurelia Scott at the quarterback spot. I mean, this team can be very, very proud of the way that it's played.
There's Samuel's number. Again, the thing I mentioned about Scott is at times he looks like he's playing in slow motion, waiting for things to develop. When he gets the snap, he walks back a step or two sometimes. Now, in this case, he steps back, and look at him now. Dart, look, and try to throw it somewhere. He'll throw it away. And, yes, that is legal in high school football. We went over this a couple weeks ago. We did the geometry lesson, extending the sidelines as long as you get the ball back to the neutral zone, all that kind of stuff. So you're allowed to do that. So now it's up a 2nd down and 10 with 8:49 left to go. The margin stands at 45-24 in this contest. And talking to Coach Simmons along the sideline is Henderson. That's a rarity to see him on the sideline for any length of time. We talked about the fact that he's pretty much on the field for offense, defense, special teams. He's the punter and kicker. And how about the performance by that guy, too, in Burns? And then you can look at the defense for Big Walnut and talk about the guys like, Pentello, number 2, that you see, and Skinner and Conklin, all the heroes they have. 2nd down 10. Scott looking long downfield. And there's contact. There's a flag. It's picked off, but will it last? We'll see.
That's the right play call. And again, they just got tangled up there, but the interference call, no doubt.
Will Wark made the pick, but pass interference is going to be the call, and will advance the ball for Beechcroft.
Pass interference, defense number 6. 15-yard penalty. It would be a 1st down.
Watch this from the end zone camera. You can see he's holding his jersey there. It was not on number 6. Number 6 was in the same county, but he did not have the interference. It's on 88.
So the penalty is going to put the ball down near the 20-yard line and down to the end zone. There's the shot and the pass incomplete. Nice little paw to get it up there, and Kyle Klein just to get that hand in the way to help disturb the receiver trying to make the catch in the end zone.
Perfect adjustment by the free safety, Kyle Klein, reading the eyes of the quarterback, coming from that zone spot over the middle to swat that ball away. That is how you play the free safety position. Watch from the end zone. You're going to see to the right of your screen, watch number 20 come out of nowhere, and he's able to get up there and deflect the football. Pretty well thrown ball, though, by quarterback Aurelia Scott, on target again.
I thought Douglas was going to walk home after that. He kept going beyond the end zone. Here's Mr. Klein, and here now is the 2nd down play from just around the 20-yard line. They haven't run the ball in a while. Give it to Henderson, maybe? Nope. Gun it across the middle on the pass, looking for Douglas. Incomplete, double coverage on the play. Good job in the secondary there. I think it's Pentello who helps to make the play, number 2.
Yep, Pentello and Zach Griffith coming from their safety spots to be able to screw things up over the middle. Good job of reading. And, at this point in time, you're going to figure they're going to be throwing the football. So, again, they've got 5 defensive backs there staring into the eye of the quarterback, trying to help each other out. Look at Pentello. What a ball hawk he is, looking at that football the entire time.
Jeff, the pressure hasn't been as extreme recently for Big Walnut. Are they backing it down some, or are they found a way on Beechcroft's offensive line to stop it?
Yeah, they're only rushing 4 right now, Randy, and they've got 7 back, knowing that they're going to have to throw the football, and we've got motion up front on the offensive line.
We'll have a false start, move it back 5.
That's EOB, Elijah Ocheri, Boyaki having to play that right tackle position as they lost Morel Cox earlier in that football game.
He went down to an injury in the first half, and again, when you lose anybody right now for Beechcroft, especially along the line, you lose, in essence, 2 players out of your 22. He only dressed 33. Meanwhile, you look at Big Walnut, and aren't you happy and proud for Andy Jados, the principal, and the strength of the athletic programs, and the size of the community, and the turnout here tonight, too. Incredible the support that they have here in Sunbury for the squad. On a 3rd down and 15, you know they're going for it on 4th down if they have to. Down the sidelines. Sidelines have been their friends at times, but recently they have not been, because that time you've seen them circle back, Jeff, and they're throwing 1 receiver there, and they're looking at maybe 2 and sometimes 3 defenders back there.
Yeah, they're really having a difficult time being able to find open receivers now because of their drop and 7, Randy. A little different scenario in the 2nd and 3rd quarter where you were bringing the heat on the quarterback, and Aurelius Scott had a bunch of man coverage down there. Now it's tough to throw into that field of defenders.
Stick around. After this game, we'll go right into the OSU Notre Dame coverage as we're approaching the 10 o'clock hour. This is a long game, but Beechcroft refuses to yield. Big play here for them. Down by 21. On a 4th and 15. Scott looking, gunning downfield, has his man in over the wrong shoulder. Douglas was looking to the inside, the pass was to the outside.
Now, broken coverage there in the secondary, and an unfortunate situation on 4th down. It looked like they had the touchdown, Randy. Wide open on the skinny post. The ball was just kind of pushed, and it sailed on the quarterback, and look how wide open the receiver was, not able to make the play. That's the first time we've really seen quarterback Aurelius Scott off target.
Now we'll give it back to Big Walnut. Still plenty of time left in this one. 8:19 left to go.
You're not going to see Sievers in this game anymore. They've got all new bodies out there.
Well, Neer is still in a quarterback, but Work is now the running back. Will Work. 5'10", 200, and a senior. And we've got a whistle and a timeout, I think, going to be taken. Here you go. Beechcroft's going to take that timeout, Jeff. We talked about that on the change of possession.
Timeout, Beechcroft.
So they
That's
will burn
their second charge timeout of the half.
A timeout, and that is their second one. As they take a break, we'll pause for this word from Toyota.
With a new Toyota, you can practically make summer stand still. From making a splash in a Highlander to fitting in more fun in a Camry or tackling a trailhead in a RAV4 hybrid. Who's a good boy? Enjoy the last of summer in an exciting new Toyota during Toyota's national sales event.
Save big on the best-selling SUV Toyota RAV4, like this electrified RAV4 hybrid with fuel savings over $3,700. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
A little over 8 minutes left to go. Again, it was a youth cheerleader night tonight, so we had them involved in our open. And, Jeff, timeout taken by Beechcroft, not only for rest, but also for numbers, right?
Absolutely. They only had 9 guys on the defense out there that had lined up. Just trying to get bodies out there to finish this ball game out. Again, 8 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. 21-point favorite or lead here by Big Walnut in this game.
We mentioned that Sievers not back in at running back, but Will Work is in there. And 9 carries, 58 yards, a good 6.4-yard average, including against Zanesville when he had 3 carries last week for 40 yards. That man trying to shut him down with his defense out there. 1st and 10. Ball resting at the 27-yard line, and that's Work, who guns it upfield across the 35. Good little momentum heading up across the 35. How many times do you see an 88 in the backfield?
I know. Pretty interesting.
Also plays defensive back as well, too, with that high number.
See, doing a good job of getting himself north and south, taking care of the football, and a first down play.
He runs bigger, too, than 5'10" and 200. He almost looks like a fullback when he's carrying that football. So a good gain on the play. Out to the 37-yard line. Another Bowling Green State University first down with 7:45 left to go here in regulation of this contest. Take that up to the 37-yard line, and they've got the handoff, and it's Work off the right side. He continues to churn. Down the field. Will all the way down. Shoestring tackle inside the 30-yard line. He's brought down there. A nice run off the right side for this senior. And what a proud moment it is for him to get this opportunity in the 4th quarter. It gives you a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield as well, too.
Looked like Jerome Killebrew made the touchdown saving tackle from his middle linebacker position. Is that 3 or 9? It's 9, actually. Javonte Shull from the defensive end position. And a good night at running back, regardless of whether it's been Severs or will work.
Let's see if Big Walnut kind of evaporates more of that play clock as well now, as we're down under 10. Let's see when they snap it. 4, 3, and they'll snap it. And nothing fancy here with these running plays. That's the play they did a couple plays ago, and Work still on his feet. And again, you can sense the exhaustion right now for Beechcroft. Got those two-way starters out there, and sometimes what you try to do, Jeff, is tackle high or try to tackle the football, and that's exactly what the Cougars did in that scenario. That man looks tired already, too. He's had about 3 or 4 carries in a row, Mr. Work.
Clock will change momentarily, or stop momentarily for the first down.
And once again, we're inside that red zone, courtesy of Bathfitter. Transform your bathroom in one day. Get started at bathfitter.com. From the 13-yard line, 2 wide at the top, I like to see him get the ball to Gladden, you know. Get him back in there and give him a chance to catch that ball. Big number 12 has done so much with his foot. I'd like to see him get a chance with his hands, too, but that time maybe is past in this contest. Work again inside the 5, down to the 4, maybe the 3-yard line.
That 2 again for a first down, getting 10-yard chunks, and you can see the exhaustion over there on the defensive side. And Randy, it'd be inappropriate to throw the football at this stage in this game. And right now, Coach Rob Page would like to do nothing more than to run this clock out and get his football team on to thinking about what's next week for the his football team. And they have Delaware Hayes, again a home game for them before they play Westerville South and then Franklin Heights.
And next up for Beechcroft, Bexley. And that will be a Thursday night contest. It's Work. But he makes it look like play as he takes it in for the touchdown. With 5:31 left to go, we've got a Cougar down at the 5-yard line. Add 6 more to the board, and then it was 51-24.
I was going to ask Coach Samonich here a question that Randy puts a little pressure on me. I have this thing called Logan's Heroes that happens in the second half of the season, where I get the top 5 teams in the area. Top 5 teams
allegedly
that have the capacity to be able to go deep into the playoffs.
Wow!
And right now, if we were to maybe identify 5 teams, we taking both Pickeringtons.
Obviously, both Pickeringtons are going to be in the conversation with a big win. Pickerington North over Upper Arlington. That's a heck of a win right there. Jeff, you got to look at the team right here in Sunbury as well.
I thought so too.
This is a playoff-ready type of. Their style just fits it. Physical. We're going to grind you out. Come in that second half, you know your secondary better be ready to tackle these backs, and they're coming at you.
All right, give me 2 more. Who else is hot?
Well, I've heard the New Albany Eagles got something.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Have to throw a little home.
I've got to sneeze. Snow job. Thank you. Go ahead.
And don't count out Coach Buttermore for Upper Arlington.
Yes.
Yeah.
The loss to a great football team early in the season is just going to really propel. It's a great lessons learned, and the film will be valuable tomorrow morning.
You know, one of the remarkable things that we've seen there is you see the Kitchen Saver scoring summary, 5 plays, 74 yards, took 2:48 off the clock. Thomas Worthington got off to a great start this season. I saw they lost tonight to Grove City, which is a little bit of a surprise to me, but maybe Grove City's got it going again.
Grove City's improved, and we were able to take a peek at Thomas Worthington in a scrimmage, and being down on the field, they've been in the weight room, and you can tell good things are happening.
A little transformation
there's
there,
a transformation going on
and
there.
Receivers, too. They have hands people, which they haven't had in the past.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, I have something I want to share with you that's very important. So everybody listen up, because this is going to mean a lot to everybody here. As soon as I find the card, we'll share it together.
Find what you're going to read.
A lot happens in a day, guys. So turn to Central Ohio's most watched local news team, Bob Kendrick, Station McKinn, and Marshall McPeak, for the final word on the day's top stories impacting you, your family, and community. ABC6 News is on your side tonight at 11. And I want to thank the Evans family. For the last 40 years, Mr. Evans has worked up here in this press box, and his wife has presented us with goodies every time we come here. Tonight we had probably, well, before Jeff got to him, about 14 or 16 chocolate chip cookies here. We had trail mix. We had a bunch of other fun things to snack on. It's Jerome Killebrew, by the way, who's the injured player.
We noticed you, Jake, is a witness to this, stuffing them in your bag. I mean, Randy.
You can't prove that, Rusty.
you got to be a little bit more discreet in terms of how you do that. So.
I've never met a chocolate chip cookie I don't like. I will admit to anything for a chocolate chip cookie. 51-24 as gingerly Killebrew comes to the sidelines. Extra point time now for Gladden Company. And again, this margin's still not up to 30. A lot of people thought this game was going to be over at the end of the first quarter. And early on, it looked like it was going to go back and forth for the longest time. Beechcroft fell back, then they cut the lead. And hats off, they stayed with it. But Big Walnut is just a juggernaut. Extra point, snap, the kick is up. And Gladden has done it again. 52-24 with 5:31 left to go.
Now, the one team that we had earlier in the football season, opening week 1, Olentangy Liberty, lost again tonight. They're 0-3. I mean, that is amazing to me. But they've lost to 3 great football teams. They went, obviously, with Pickerington Central. Then they went down. It was at St. X that they had to play in week 2, or Centerville. One of those. I'm trying to remember who they had, but it was a terrible schedule.
They had to play St. X, and St. X also had to play a national game as well, too. They played against that team from outside of Chicago as well, too, and St. X got their clock cleaned there.
Yeah, so pretty interesting. Some of the powers to be that are kind of normal in this market kind of changed a little bit.
You'll see Steve Hale get those guys going. This isn't his first rodeo.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's been around it a long time, and that's just, he's had so much success. It's hard to find those non-league opponents, and that's obviously what's happened there in Olentangy Liberty.
Well, a lot of schools have that problem. Pickerington Central has that problem. Same. They can normally get 8 games. The last 2 games are just like pulling teeth for them to get that schedule filled out. Hartley the same token as well, too, but the Hawks have struggled early on this campaign as well, too. So it's still early, and again, you play the best early to get your team ready for later on so that it's not a surprise come the postseason. A different kicker for the kickoff that time. And the return is going to start eventually from the 9-yard line. Coming back the other way on the return is Russell, and he's got a nice one up across the 25 to the 30, the 34-yard line. Good time for a chocolate chip donut or chocolate chip cookie, either one. There's both in there, but I'm going to wait till after the game. The youth football players are coming up here looking like they're ready to invade the press box as well, too. That's the other thing, Jeff. When you look at the number of kids involved in youth football tonight, my goodness, it's hard to believe this is the same community. It reminds me of New Albany in the old days when they were like Division 7 or 6, and the press box seated 4. I don't know if you remember that. And now you've got a press box there with a bay window and everything else, which you get a chance to look out of every week. You do their games on the internet, do you not?
It's a beautiful facility. We're very blessed out there in New Albany and Eagle Stadium. So good things are happening out here in Sunbury. I was driving through Town Square just coming in, and you could tell everybody left work early and was getting ready for a football game. It was a fun environment.
Yeah, they're jacked for it. I think that's what it's all about. And we saw great youth football last week in Hilliard, and communities like that are developing young kids to be able to play this great game is exciting to watch.
Scott looking long downfield for Douglas, and the pass is picked off on the play. Intercepted, coming back the way. Cross midfield, down the sidelines, and look at this move. All the way down. Is that Klein who's going to tightrope and take it the distance?
Stepped out of bounds.
Step out of bounds?
Right.
They're going to mark him out at the 20.
Right at the 20-yard line. There's a little celebration going on, as they should, but look at it. He's looking at it going,
He can't believe it. I stepped out at the 20-yard line.
We'll get a look at it again, but again, this ball kind of thrown up for grabs here late in the football game, and he thought he had a pick 6. Thought he had a good opportunity there. Kyle Klein playing that free safety spot. We saw him make a big play on the previous drive. Watch him go up, high points the football, able to take it away. And you watch here from your living room. Did he step out of bounds? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. This is a guy that had 5 picks, including the 2 scrimmages already coming into this contest. And, Jeff, the other thing we should mention for Beechcroft.
Spike the ball.
Beechcroft is not like they can sub, It's not like they can bring in their second team. They have enough to field starters and maybe a couple of subs, so they can't clear the bench. So these guys are tired starters that are still out there. And Big Walnut's going to clear the bench a little bit, though, as that time we have a running back taking around the left-hand side. That's number 27. That's Peyton Abrams on the carry.
Just a sophomore, getting an opportunity to play in this football game. Most likely he'll be playing tomorrow morning in a JV game.
Once again, we are in the Bathfitter red zone. And Peyton's seen some time already in their first 2 contests. Again, big wins for the Eagles when you look at it, 35-7 and 42-7. And again, those 2 scores against the squad were against the second teamers. So when you think about their starters, they were pretty much shutting out opponents in the first 2 weeks. But Beechcroft with a number of points here in this contest, 24, and basically could be 28 points. And the other thing you're going to see here is at quarterback. This is something you can do this year, number 0, which is something you couldn't do in high school football in the state of Ohio in the past. Cale Borland is your quarterback, 5'10", 175. All right, here we go. You can do 0. You can't do 00, and you can't do 07. And don't ask about 007, because you can't do that either.
The funny part about that is that somebody decided to have a meeting to discuss this.
I want fractions.
What a waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, why did you not have a 0, or why do you have to have a conversation to have a 0? I mean, there are more important things in this game than worrying about whether or not a guy can wear a 0.
Remember Eddie Goodell, who was the short person, the midget person who played in professional baseball? Bill Veeck brought him in to have an at-bat, and he got walked because he was so small, and he wore a fraction on his back.
A fraction.
But Bill Veeck was known for that in baseball. They'll keep it on the ground, and again, Peyton Abrams, Dean Marini pointing out, and it's true, he actually moved fences during a doubleheader too, but he didn't see what he liked. And of course, he was known for wild promotions. Remember Disco Demolition Night too in Chicago at Comiskey Field? That went over really well with Steve Loop and the gang from WLOP in Chicago. And they're threatening for another score now with 3 minutes left to go in regulation. Is Mr. Borland looking to the sidelines? Off the right side, that's going to be a touchdown. Taking it in, breaking the plane. Big number 27, Peyton Abrams on his third carry, the 5'11", 185-pound sophomore, the running back of the future, takes it in for a score. And there's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. For a free estimate on your roof, call or text 761-ROOF.
You know, really not a situation of running up the score. You're just running your base offense out there, which is all right. No lack of respect over there, and the fact that you really couldn't take a knee at that stage with as much time remaining there. And you got young kids that have practiced all week. They've practiced all summer. They literally have worked out year-round. Give them the opportunity under the lights in their brand-new stadium to go out there and perform. Good job tonight by the Eagles. This has been a marathon of a game. I hardly remember the first quarter when this Eagle team came out very flat at the beginning of the football game.
I just got a couple texts saying 0 is my hero. Extra point time is up and good by Gladden. Add one more to the tally now. It's 59-24. And after this contest, I'll be leaving directly for Dublin Scioto High School for week number 4, Friday Night Rivals.
Well, I hope you get there for the second half of the Ohio State-Notre Dame game.
Thank you very much.
You talk about, stupid meetings. It was announced today that the college football playoff is most likely going to go to a 12-team format beginning in either 24 or 25. We're in a 4-team format at this point. I mean, the college presidents and chancellors and whoever else is involved in all these conversations, there's your kitchen saver scoring play of 4 plays, 20 yards, 2 minutes and 16 seconds, have been sitting down for days and weeks and months and years on end trying to figure out how to milk more money out of the college football business, and they've decided that going to a 12-team playoff is going to be the solution.
Did you like 4? Do you like 12? Geometrically, does it not work for you, or mathematically?
If it's not 4, it goes to 16, in my opinion. It's 4, 8, or 16. 12 is a joke.
All right.
So you're going to have 4 teams are going to have a bye, and then those other 8 are going to play against one another and feed into it. What they got to do, Randy, they got to protect the bowl system in some way, shape, or form because of the history of the bowls, the charities that benefit from the bowl games. Let's not undervalue the importance of those bowl games for that reason.
The return starting from the 5-yard line gets up to around the 17. Ball comes loose at the end as Henderson lost the handle, but they're going to say that it's going to stay with Beechcroft with 2:42 left to go. And again, Jeff, the thing you have to understand, the sense of history doesn't matter as much to me as the charity thing does. And people today, they don't care about any sense of history.
Nope.
If you can get them to be concerned about anything, it would be the charity. By the way, the margin now is more than 30, so we should have the continuous clock starting with this play.
Well, on the 100th year anniversary of Ohio Stadium, to commemorate the 100th anniversary by naming the field under the name of a local corporation is absurd to me. Now, I get it. It's all about the money. But couldn't you wait a freaking year? It's the 100th year anniversary of your stadium, and you're decided to sell your football field. I'm just,
Are there enough teams for a 12-team playoff? Do you feel that all legitimately have a shot at a national championship?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not with NIL, not with the transfer portal. I just don't think that there's enough depth.
I think the Cougars are just going to run out the remaining moments here of this contest if they can. That is Mr. Burns. Look at Roshan reversing his field. This is like backyard football right now at its finest. Here's Burns with a nice gain out to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. And it's time now to pick our player of the game. And normally, Jeff, you and I have about 5 conversations. Some arm wrestling takes place. Money is exchanged. But no question tonight, because this guy was something special. And that doesn't include his kickoff returns or receiving yards as well, too.
Yeah, this play happened about a week ago.
Yeah.
Or at least it feels like it. But here's the scrum play where he just bursts out of nowhere, able to take it back for the score. And player of the game, 12 attempts rushing the football, 217 yards, 3 TDs. That doesn't tell the entire story because it includes this kickoff return for a touchdown. What a night for this young man, Nate Sievers, over 330 yards of total offense. The Friday Night Rivals player of the game.
Burns on the carry again. The ball's back at the 23-yard line. Under a minute left to go in regulation, and there's the young man celebrating. And again, this man and his brethren at quarterback, Mr. Neer, just juniors. They will be back for one more season. This team will be loaded. And the same thing could be said for Beechcroft, too, because Scott is just a junior. Guys like Burns running the ball here in 2 plays, juniors as well, too. And look at this guy. He has not stopped playing at all. And there's the quick out pattern coverage on the play. Nicely done. And again, double team with 31 seconds left to go. And we'll keep that clock running. Maybe the last play we've seen in this contest. It's quite a performance, and we talked about it. You and I and Pat talked about the fact, was there enough left in the tank for Beechcroft to go the full 4 quarters? Well, the answer is no, but they were valiant for about 2.5 of those quarters.
Yeah, they wanted to slow the pace down. They wanted to limit penalties. They wanted to shorten the game, and that's one of the things that they really didn't have the capacity to be able to do was shorten the game. So, again, that offense spent so much time out on the field in the 3rd quarter, which is their defense as well, and that will be it. 000s up there. And we've got a 59-24 win, Big Walnut over Beechcroft.
That scoreboard is one place where you can have more than 1-0. And we have that now after a game that lasted more than 3 hours. Big Walnut remains unblemished through 3 contests. They get the victory by 35, 59-24. And this is one of those games where the scoreboard is misleading. It was not that distant of a contest until about the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th quarter. And then the depth of Big Walnut and the multiple star players they had were the difference makers in this one as they get the victory 59-24. Coming up, we'll award that trophy down on the field to the Eagles. That'll be flying high and soaring into week number 4 with an unblemished mark. And also, so many great, wonderful things going on here at Big Walnut, a brand new school and a brand new facility. You have to be proud if you're a young person up here in Sunbury. Youth football and youth cheerleading very much alive here. And now it's time to go ahead and take a look at our Scholar Athlete.
Ohio Education Association is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athletes of the Week. Jaden Douglas is the first male athlete state champion at Beechcroft High School. He's ranked first in Ohio for both the 300 and 400-meter hurdles. Jaden is enrolled in numerous AP classes and has a 3.4 GPA. Grant Colson is a 4-year varsity football letterman for Big Walnut High School. He's a math tutor, honor roll student, and carries a 4.4 GPA. Congratulations to these outstanding Ohio Education Association Scholar Athletes.
Beechcroft couldn't crack the big nut tonight as the Eagles, the Golden Eagles to be precise, get the victory here. A new school, but a same celebration that you've seen in the past as they get the victory. And just a dominant performance tonight by this squad, Jeff. And again, so many players and so many talented athletes. But it starts with the leadership. And Rob Page and company with a great coaching staff showed their merit here tonight in week number 3.
Well, I think the future with Nate Sievers back there at that tailback spot, all Ohio first team as a sophomore. He's off to a great start here in his junior season. And Jake Neer, the quarterback, together, I think are pretty impressive so far. And Rob Page, I think, has got himself a pretty good future here. Coaches look really good when you've got really good football players. And this coaching staff is doing a great job with them.
I'm looking at the final numbers. I'm looking at Canadian football again because over 800 yards in total offense in this contest. When you look at it, you can see that Beechcroft passed for over 300. They had 84 yards rushing. And for the Golden Eagles, 357 on the ground, 108 in the air. With all that being said, only one turnover committed by each team. We had so many scoring drives. We had at least, a dozen scoring drives in this contest.
Yeah, so much of football has become a mobile quarterback being able to get out on the perimeter and have those RPOs. And that's the thing that can really challenge any defense that's out there. And I think the one thing that Big Walnut's going to have to be careful of is looking at these total yards that they gave up. You've got to do a better job defensively. Offensively, I think this is a pretty well-oiled machine.
Pat Samanich has been joining us up here. He'll fill in for Jeff next week. We talk about coaching him up. Jeff says that all the time. Boy, if you're Rob Page, you've got a lot to be happy about, but a lot to be upset about as well, too, right?
Well, the film tomorrow morning, especially that first half, as Jeff was talking about defensively for Big Walnut, will be telling. The adjustments were made, but the coaches are going to come back to saying we don't have to force you to blitz to get us going a little bit. So, that'll be a message that's heard. It's a great way, when you can win a game on Friday night and have a great lesson in Saturday morning film. I got to tip my hat to the Beechcroft team and Coach Simmons and the heart that they played with. The scoreboard, I wish didn't show that discrepancy because it really did not. I was really impressed and proud of that team.
And that's where you and I will be next week. So you know how to get there, right?
I do.
Okay. Just
give Jake directions on how to get
Jake
there.
Jake needs a ride if that's okay because, Jake, there's not an old Dublin side of high school. There's an old Dublin high school, but it's currently the Kaufman School, so I just want to make sure you make it there. And hopefully you'll make it to your TV set or online as well so you can check out this contest next week as Dublin side plays host to Westerville South. It's been a great performance, and down on the field, the head coach has got to be happy, Rob Page, who I have to mention, too, went to the wrong high school in Indiana since he went to Ben Davis and I went to Penn High School. But I'll look past that, Coach Page.
That's blasphemy right
there. Thank you very much.
All right, I bleed Ben Davis purple. So
that's right. Well, I got to go black, white, and gold. But congratulations, because the Golden Eagles, that was the color of choice tonight, although Beechcroft played like they had 66 kids instead of 33 at times, didn't they?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't think Beechcroft has anything to be ashamed of. They came out, they played extremely hard. They have a small football team. They've only had a week of practice. They had to sit out because of the strike, and I thought they played their hearts out. And I think they're going to go on in the rest of their season, and they're going to win a lot of football games in their league.
Coach, it looked like you made a couple of adjustments there after the first quarter where there were so many offensive yards given up and more pressure by your defense. Was there emphasis on trying to pressure that quarterback?
Yeah, we decided to bring some more pressure so that he had less scramble lanes to go to and things like that. And he's super athletic, and he still was able to make some plays, but we were able to contain him a little more, get a couple more stops, get some fourth down stops, and kind of go from there.
Well, Coach, normally we like to have the team with you, but I know they're probably winded after everything they had to do going up and down the field 30 times. But on behalf of everyone at the CW Columbus, Stewie has for you the championship trophy. Hold that over your head proudly like it's an Indiana State football championship trophy.
I got one of those, too.
I know you do. Thanks for rubbing it in. Coach Page, congratulations.
All right, appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Rob Page, the head coach of Big Walnut. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Jeff, take a week off. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you. Good luck next week, guys. Have fun.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Pat, I'll talk to you again in just a few days. Another edition of Central Ohio's Toyota Friday Night Rivals has come to a close. Also brought to you by Columbus State. We would like to extend a thank you to all of our sponsors, Dean Marini and the Image Video Broadcast team. Thank you as well, too, for your great work. Next time you can join us Friday night at 7. Westerville South takes on Dublin Cider, week number 4. What a night that will be. What a night this was. A lot of offense tonight, and Big Walnut, the Eagles soaring to victory, undefeated in 3 games. I'll say it one final time. Final score in this one, 59-24. You've been watching Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College, in one place on the CW Columbus.